this platform is independent, and we wanted to work with everyone across the spectrum. So folks are invited to share what they know, and the viewers make their choice, and we ask the questions and we give the guest the opportunity to answer.
This craziness, man, I do not care. Why am I so anti-establishment? Because of what I've seen the establishment do to people. That's why I cannot be pro-establishment.
Power is in the hands of the people. And it really did. What we all witnessed is the government, they knew that they were heading in the wrong direction. They knew Gambians are speaking in the same voice.
What law in the books that says the government has power to come out and go after folks' private citizens' properties and demolish them because somehow the government interest?
The only way that we can salvage our country is when everybody gets their hand dirty. Don't sit there with your expertise and just to procrastinate everything that people say or pontificate, what everybody says or does. Let's get our hands dirty.
We're back again.
Father Most.
Yes.
Let's hope that this time it would be better. So
yeah. So viewers, you guys would have to help us out. Make sure you guys can hear us loud and clear. Device not connected. Okay, I'm trying to bring Essa. Yeah. So I'm not again.
I just checked the YouTube and it's very clear.
They say much better.
Yes.
So whatever's been going on.
Yeah, whatever you did earlier,
Did mankind. You know me. I'm technically challenged, but what I do is I follow I don't even deviate. Maybe soon Malam Bobulen
the Malam guy. No, huh? Why Sister Tukulor, you're Boleh so more that I cannot say anything to the polls because man technically I think I am, but Musa Jeng Misa poll because all these Jengens are pollers anyway.
And I degulo banka. Sudan len
You know what? Gane Bob Ture, he'd also.
What I was like, oh, I know this Sudanese guy with my dark pigmentation. When I go Bob, you'll pass by somebody.
I got most of these wallers are these runaway Sudan fullers. So
and that tells you, bro, how because there is this lady that I work with at Hilton, and she does this, how Black Americans will go and this ancestry testing. She was telling me part of my family, they're from Nigeria, the other part from Cameroon, and stuff like that. And I was kind of curious. I'm like, you know what? Maybe some of us need to do that because just because you find yourself in Gambia, maybe you're not from there.
And you know what, Most? Do you know Langdiba, the goalkeeper? Langdiba,
yes, the goalkeeper. Yes.
Yeah. His daughter, Ami Diba, wrote this thing about this tribal thing, and I just want to read this paragraph.
Yes.
My grandparents and their parents carried names like Diba, Fal, Sow, Jan, Jai, Fofana, Manjang, Aw, and Juf. These are not distant roots or abstract branches. These are the names that built me, names that reflect a deeply woven family stretching across languages and tradition. And I know I am not alone in this. And when I read that, I'm like, sometimes maybe we all need to just take a reflection back and say, you know what? Just look at don't even go too deep. Just go a little too far.
Money.
And you realize that almost everybody, we are so interlinked, we just have to. And like I said, we were coming back to the Peter thing. You see, when you are angry, don't talk. Man, Sumatange, I can say the craziest things. But, and the thing is, Hamga, Olof ñu ne wax ka ko wax moomu ko ka ko déggoo ka ko déglu moo ko moom. And then it's also open to interpretation. People can interpret it anyhow they want. And once they start that interpretation, you can never explain enough to get them to understand what you're doing. And it's so sadness sometimes with this tribal thing, how people just will take words and just give it a meaning.
Just twist it.
And twist it. More than that, sometimes it is just rather unfortunate. Absolutely unfortunate.
Again, I don't know other communities there, but Gambia, I wasn't born yesterday. I've seen this tribal card being played all over the place, especially in our politics. But it comes down to one thing and one thing only, is suspicion. We are very suspicious of each other. And that suspicion comes down to one thing. Ken bugut kula xeeb. So se bugut ko xeeb. Suwa bugut ko xeeb. Jola bugut ko xeeb. That's what it comes down to. So when you go out there and you make pronouncements that they can glean ne dangena jema soufel, they'll fight back. It has nothing to do with ne yo dang len head or Gambia. No, it's not like that. And then you have in politics, politicians will exploit it because hamnene is the low-hanging fruit. Hamnene, the electorate, they don't really vote based on issues. No, it's not like that at all. So you have to give them something. And when you want to make them feel good about themselves, look, for me, coming from Kaur, Fana, and I see two candidates. This guy is a Fana, speaks my language. Na Muhammad, bëgg naa ne élection baa ngi dikk de. Ta xam nga ne bu leen ma xotalee, dinaa fi indi lii, dinaa fi indi lii, dinaa fi indi lii. And then you have another guy who doesn't speak that language, not in a way that he can connect with me. In as much as his position or even policy issues, moma gena muna dimbale mansa. There is a tendency, especially if you are unexposed, you haven't traveled. There is a tendency to go with what you know. That doesn't mean that the person is tribalist. It's about familiarity. It's about key. But sometimes intellectuals, so-called intellectuals, if you want to call them that, we overplay it. And that's the unfortunate part. Our tribalism is all about par exemple bi ngay takk jabar newuloo fi ne man jabari xolof lay wut ak jabari soose da ngay gis ndaw si rek ne kii mooy suma waay and you go with it. I mean, and that's how it is. I also know for a fact you don't come into an interview in the Gambia lay wax de xaw ma other communities ma diggante yàlla lay wax, and somehow the interviewer would disqualify a Pasamba Jaw because of Olofla and then hire a Mandinka guy because more Mandinka. I don't think that's how it works. No. What tends to happen more, kan moy suma nit. And the kan moy suma nit, it goes across tribal affiliations. Sometimes I'm much closer to Mandinkas moy suma nit. Understand what I mean? Does that mean so? Again, it was unfortunate, and you said something. Man said an interview attacked me. There was absolutely nothing that Peter has done wrong. To me, no. I watched the interview with ST, who was professional. He knew exactly why he was there. And in fact, it was ST. Motasa, Peter Richard. Peter Hamusakui attack. Attack. He doesn't know anything about attack. When ST said, some guy called into the show, and the question to ST Moyone, when are you going to collaborate with with Attack again? And Peter's question was, can we attack? But listen to what ST said. ST said, Attack is a superstar. And then he went on to say that I have collaborated with him before and I will again. Then Mune Peter, maybe you should invite him to come to your show. So as far as ST was concerned, he handled it right. Now, Attack came. But let's go back to the question that Peter asked. Because sometimes they go all over the place. One of the question, what are the challenges? Again, you're talking about somebody who doesn't even know Attack at all. Hamuko, what are the challenges? And in that respond, unfortunately, And I call it unfortunately because Attack did not help himself. He went on to say, whatever challenges I have, tribalism, more the cause of that. And an unfortunate answer. Unfortunate in the sense that it doesn't help his career. Because the moment you alienate communities, that doesn't help you. And that was sad for him. And then he got the backlash. But for anybody to come and blame Peter and said, Peter would not control Shobi. Control what? I think it was unfortunate. I don't think that Peter did anything wrong as far as that interview. Now, if I can just leapfrog to his reaction, this is where I think he might have gone a little bit overboard. But that's not for me to say. Pasamba, I've seen you go overboard here. I've been here, sometimes I go overboard. He could have Peter just ignored them and moved on? There were things that he said. I thought, you didn't have to say that. Really. And to be honest, he came across a little bit arrogant, about my success. That is why you guys had a problem with. I don't think he had to say all that. Really. And then there was something that he said, and we kind of go back and forth, Mayo Pasamba, trying to ask it honestly and objectively. When he said, because I don't speak their language. What does that mean? You have to, Lanlao Hon before Lolu. Most people thought he was saying because he doesn't speak Mandinka. Is that what he meant? What happened if Peter were to say that and he's somebody who understands and speaks Mandinka? Could then that phrase that he used be interpreted differently? Speak their language. Some said that he was referring to the people that have been critical of him. If you're a Mandinka, I can understand why you feel like, okay, Key is disrespecting us. Nyun Lawa. And again, that is unfortunate. But when everything is said and done, I think Peter overreacted. He could have chosen his words much more carefully. But the barrage and the insult that he is getting is distasteful. The man doesn't deserve that. When you judge people, you have to judge them in totality. Dominic Kubah no ladef. Even if you disagree with him in this particular instant, it doesn't warrant the kind of insult that he got. Absolutely not. For 3 years, all we saw was professionalism. The guy was doing all the right things. Let me be like, don't shut up. You guys, there are people calling us telling them we need to talk about this issue. Now you're telling me, shut up. Why am I? You guys can't have it both ways. All I'm saying is, it was unfortunate, and we're making more out of it that it doesn't deserve. Do we have our instance of tribal issues? Yes, we do. But compared to other communities, I like my Gambia Be'elik. And I think we're doing just fine when everything is said and done. The moment they get hebate, sufiel, put people down, we don't have issues here at all. And
yeah, Musa, watch out for Essa. But like you were saying, Musa, you see, like they say, wax kako wax mom ko kako dega moko mom. And then it opens to interpretation how people want to interpret it. And so this is where sometimes one has to be very, very careful with the language that they use, because of when you use a language or anything that you say, and it has to do with a particular group, because this whole thing came about because of attack on Mandinkas, isn't it? Attack interview about Mandinka.
Yes.
Mandinka.
Yes.
So when you start dealing with that, and then you use the only time I don't speak their language, so you cannot expect everybody to say, well, no, what language could belligerent or this thing is. So language is like, so it's open to interpretation, and people will come down to the interpretation that they feel fits what they feel, because you say what you said, unless you're very clear. Musa Jeng so gise duma d'accord mom duma speak buku duma lakal language am and language is saga bu mo def ak disi nit ñi dañ xamne then that was a qualified statement.
Correct.
But in the absence of that qualifier, then it is open to interpretation. Essa is still having problems with the new link to come in. So Mansi phone be mom bo betay. Go ahead.
Again, look, there was something that Silabi said that it doesn't affect me. That's why I'm talking the way I'm talking. That is not necessarily true, Bilahi. I think that is a very unfair. It's not that. As a Gambian, really, and there are people who are not necessarily Mandinkas. They felt Essa. Peter.
Most, do you have anybody in the lobby?
I don't have anyone. Did you send him the link, right? Again, to me, it's not about Peter being wrong or Peter being right. All I'm saying is this. If you're going to judge Peter Gomez, you have to judge him in totality. Did he say things that he could have done a better job? Way far better job, yes. Was he totally over-emotional? Yes, I think he was. When I spoke to Pasamba after it, I think he went a little bit overboard. And then Pasamba told me, typical Gambian, sometimes when we get angry, people push us, we push back. And it was unfortunate. And what's his name?
The thing is, I think people just need to rise up from this. One thing that I just want us to all understand. You see, Musa, you know what people are taking us back to. There is a danger that Jammeh's dictatorship has done to the very fabric of our nation that people, I don't think, even understand, Musa. Because the lack of trust, where now everything is looked at from pretty much a tribal lens. You know, these are all the ripple effects of what we went through. Because if you had a leader in Jammeh who would sit and vilify a particular tribe, question even their existence, you know, their legitimacy, you know, everything that happens, you have to blame that tribe for it. So you force people to start looking at people differently, and you force that group to also looking at themselves also, you know, what the hell is going on here? We are the majority tribe, you new help and all that stuff. So I think it is important and this is where I want to give Turo Dabo credit. Because Turo Dabo did something that an elder is supposed to do.
Right.
When a problem happens, and that's where I would have left it alone and just would not even deal with it again. Because Turo Dabo could have just said, you know what, it doesn't concern me, I'm not going to engage in this. But what Turo Dabo did was, you know what, I'm not going to sit and let this just go. I'm going to bring these young two people, talk to them, and at least we can get Nakalatura a resolution of this matter. Exactly. Everything was resolved.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any need to, in fact, bring it back up. These kids said what they said. And somebody asked me, why did you have to write on, because when I wrote on ST's wall, that my respect for you, you know, just increases. You know, keep up the great job. Because ST too could have been selfish and say, you know what, I'm not going to engage myself in this. It has nothing to do with me. I did not say anything. But the fact that he found it in himself to say, you know what, I'm going to come and work with these guys to dissolve this matter, to me, that was worthy of praise. But the thing is, we have to go back to understand who we are as a people. We cannot allow politicians, musicians, or whoever you want to classify yourself to continue to draw a wedge, you know, between us as a people, Musa. It doesn't make sense. And it goes to an extent where every time you have to explain the relationships. There was somebody I called yesterday. He was all over this. I spoke to him. You know, listen, you've talked about this enough. I'm not saying don't be angry, Why you don't also want to amplify this voice to where it's not even supposed to reach? You know, fortunately, we were able to come to an understanding, and he saw where I was coming from. But we have to do better. And Musa, if there is one failure that we have had since independence, is uniting our people to put the Gambia as the thing that is more important. I'm not saying tribes are not important. I'm not saying cultures are not important. But the reason why we are here today is because of one thing called the Gambia. I'm going to So, but what has happened where we've been pushed now to corners, where our focus is more about where I belong, tribe or culture or region and all these things. And in the process, Gambia neka for the dangle. But let's also look at this from another angle. I'm going to so taka jabar. Does he send that all of lam? Does he send that sorcerer? But that does not even sometimes stop the people from maligning you, calling you a tribalist.
Yeah.
Or somebody, let's say, I'm going to use an example. Let's say Halifa Usainu Dabo, for example. You would hear people accuse him of being a tribalist.
Of course.
And what do they base it on? There is nothing that he had said, done to suggest that. Not the family that he has, not the people he fell in love with, not the kids that he loves so much, or the people that he shares his struggle with and all that. So you have all these things playing around, and man, I'll blame again, Luneka, Jamel, I blame. Yaya Jammeh's 22 years of dictatorship, Musa. Unless we unravel it and look at the bigger picture, we'll continue to get to this level. But the saddest thing, Moy, the majority of our people, the overwhelming majority of Gambians, Musa, know nothing but Yaya Jammeh and how Yaya Jammeh ran the country. To where everything is looked at from that lens. Why we should be better than that. And it is high time for all of us to do right by our country, do right by our people, and treat each other with the respect and dignity that we all deserve. And focus on what is going to uplift the Manjago, the Sose, the Jola, this thing, and everybody in that country. Because what they are doing, while we are focused on Kinda, all of Landi, Kinda, Sosela, the elites are continuing to enjoy their lives to the detriment of the Mandinka, the Wolof, and all these things. Our farmers they are Fullers, they are Mandinka, they are Jolas, they are Wolof, they are this thing. When they are selling their groundnuts, and they are not bought, you think the government is going to look at all of you know, everybody suffers. Somebody say, continue blaming Jammeh. We can continue blaming Jammeh, but tribalism was there before Jammeh. And you know what? Jammeh used the bully pulpit and took it to another level that get it to where it is today. That's why it is always, look at the United States, tribalism, not racism was here
way
for
before.
a very long time.
Look.
But when you had Donald Trump as president, it took it to another level, unimaginable level, to where I'm sitting, you know what, I never thought in my life I would hear a politician so boldly stand before a people and say such a racist comment and still get elected. That is why leadership matters in everything that we do. Musa, if you do not have the right leadership, what you will have is a divided community of people. And unfortunately, that's where we are as a people. But is still struggling massively.
To some extent, I agree with that person. To me, what Jammeh did was, and on a lot of things, not only tribalism, he was a disgusting human being. That's what this guy, that Jammeh was. And he exploited tribal differences by targeting Mandinkas. You see, even today, people do exploit those tribal differences, but in a much more subtle way. Jammeh was just Jammeh. And that's the unfortunate part. And yes, he's right. Even this talk about tribalism, Taimi Jawarasa Amona, a whole lot of it. A whole lot of it. I mean, you remember there were utterances that P.S. Njai made that people deem it to be very tribalistic. I mean, look, this is what Manlila Gomne. Why we are different from other communities is because of we live together. When you live in a small community and your neighbor is a Mandinka, or your neighbor is a Wolof, or your neighbor is a Jola, and you begin to know them, you understand their language, you understand their culture, and you embrace it. Lolo daflade, you can never continue to be tribalistic. What we need to stay away from, moy di jema xeeb nit ki. Gambian problem, whether Mandinkala or Jolala, bugut kuko xeeb. When you take that out of it, I don't think that we have a problem. And then then you have the people with the bully pulpit, the politicians. They know what they are doing, my friend. They're trying to win elections. We saw what happened in 2021. Look, when not ST, oh my God, Bokarr Sey is calling. Can you?
No, I gave them your number to call so that maybe we can have to contact it through,
Yes, sir.
Because I think that's the only way. But here is the thing, guys. All I'm saying, when we have 2026 coming,
Is that in the US?
very important. A lot of the people, that doesn't mean that you cannot talk about any issue. A lot of our people in the country think that something needs to change, something needs to happen. One thing that we must do, not be distracted to the extent where we focus on things that are not important. And I'm not saying that this is not important. But let's look at our country and see the trajectory of it. Are we moving in the right direction? Can we do better? And even to fake any Musa the tribalism Yagana Gambia. Tell me how he has benefited Gambians ever.
Zilch.
It has not benefited us anyway.
Asama, is Essa in the US?
Yes.
So why is he having problem clicking on that link?
It's a polar.
So Mune, he's calling me with a Banjul number.
Why they're calling you? Because you just connect them so that we can just do it like
no, why
put
don't
them on speaker.
Mune, why you step aside and get me situation?
Can you mute? So like I was saying, Moine, Ñun Gambians as a whole, we have to look at ourselves very carefully. Tribalism has not benefited us anything. Let's look at even our political parties and how they were created. I've always mentioned here the PPS, Protectorate People's Society. We turned into PPP, People's Progressive Party. And the objective was, you know what? We have been disenfranchised, we are coming. We have to participate in the process. We have to do better for our people. How did that work for the people in the provinces? It did not. So anybody who tells you about this tribe thing, look at what happens once they get to power. Let's look at even the Gambia, the last election, what did they do? The whole NPP campaign, most of it was about tribal thing. How are our poor people doing? And this is the issue. So it is high time for all of us, especially those who have a voice, to be an echo chamber for reason, and not for an echo chamber for tribes and tribal bigots. We have more pressing issues in that country than to worry about who is a Mandinka, who is a Jola, who is a Fula, and who is all these things. It never works. It's not as important to the livelihood of Gambians. You have people who go to the hospitals and do not have the medicines that they need. And that cuts across the tribal lines. It doesn't matter whether you live in Basse with a lot of Fulas. It doesn't mean that you live in Kiang with a lot of Mandinkas, or it doesn't mean that you live in Sabah Sanjal with the Wolofs or wherever you want to go. Or you live in the Fonyis with the Jolas. It doesn't matter. All the problems are across the board. So our focus should be, we must not allow anybody, whether you are a musician, a journalist, a politician, or whatever, to push us to where we are going to forget what is important. Gambia has not moved as a country. For 60 years, the poverty that was there continues to be there today. And for 60 years, our people, irrespective of tribal beliefs or sentiments, continue to wallow in abject poverty. And we have to change that. And to change that means we have to come together as a people and realize that the only solution to our problem is when we are united as a people. Unity can do great stuff. If there was one thing about Jawara, and I was one of his biggest critics, is how he was able to navigate this tribal issue and made it almost unimportant. And if there's one thing I can give Senghor as president of Senegal, was how he was able to focus on nationalism rather than these tribal things. Everybody is suffering. Everybody is suffering in that country. I cannot live without Mandinkas. They cannot live without me. I cannot live without Joras. They cannot live without me. I cannot live without Fullers. They cannot live without me. We have shared problems. There's no tribe that you can look at and you know what they are doing much better than the other tribe. We are all suffering in that country. So why must we allow those Ninga are supposed to make our lives better to force us to forget about what is important and then say that, you know what, let's focus on Mandinka, Olafla, and all these things. We are all suffering in that country. And you look at us. I have 4 cousins.
Pasamba.
Now,
I don't know. I mean, can you kind of just resend the link to Essa again? I'm not sure now whether because somehow gis. No, money, come like ñun ak yow yeb. That's what I mean. I don't mean so money ko muri send that link be. Understand nga? Get delete whatever link you send yep. Then just wait for this fresh link.
No, I'm going until Tukulor, I'm going to nothing very poly, and then I think I have to go back.
You're not sending him the same link though.
Ay Musa Jen. Link bu ko yónnee nii dafa uti man duma fana jóge uma kawur. But anyway, that's just what I was saying. We have shared problems, shared challenges. Let's just focus on what is important, please, and just unless we have the Gambia is prosperous, we can have the schools that we have, we can have the hospitals that we need, we can have that. We cannot continue to be bogged down by what tribe ki ban lakalai laka ki yayam sindala pa papam kolola. It does nothing but help the ruling class. That's it. And you know what? So in cabinet from inception to date, every tribe is there. Tell me one tribe that has gotten better because of your tribesmen is in power in that country. Tell me one tribesman or one tribe that says, you know what, we are much better because we have Henry Gomez as minister. All the Jagos are now doing much better. Oh, we have Ahmad Bah as Nakalatura minister. All the fullest problems have gone away. Oh, we have Mr. Dabo, Usiru Dabo as vice president. All the Mandinkas have gone away. It doesn't work that way. So, to the Gambian people, let's not allow what happened in 2021, what happened under Jammeh's rule for 22 years to continue. Let's focus on what is important. And what is important is the Gambia and the Gambian people. That's it. And this young artist, Lumalene Nyan Moy, you are not Tupac, you are not Biggie. We don't have West Coast and East Coast thuggery. Amud Gambia Busufa Am. Learn from the others. I have called Musa Ngombe a time when he was alive. and I could hear Parture's voice in the background singing. And I'm like, most ifang la kuy deglu ifang munema no man may deglu ifang. I love listening to Parture. And these were the biggest stars in that country. Because it was never a rivalry to where Parture, who is according to how Papam is Mandinka, Yayam is Wolof. No, it was not important to him. Musa Ngom, who would tell you Neman Soseyema for. That's what he tells you, because he was born in Fatoto. And the people Ninga Hamni Nyoko for Bumjudo were Mandinkas. You know, these are people you listen to. Musa, he can sing in Fuller, he sang in Fuller, he sang in Wolof, he sang in Mandinka, and all these things. You know, Parture, the same thing. And all they cared about more, you know what, we have a job and we're going to do it, we're going to entertain the people. Why we cannot allow these people to talk about East Coast, West Coast? Who cares about? We don't have that. Do your job. Sing, entertain people. I don't understand half of what ST says, but I love listening to ST. You know, and I'm also very glad, in fact, like somebody like ST Kahamne has not left his roots. You know, he's there singing in Mandinka, and it's working very well. And this was why, finally, I think the Fullers have figured it out.
This is my laptop.
Oh, that works every time.
Wow.
Yes, but anyway, my soliloquy is now over. I had to do that.
Hearing me?
What? Wow, let's forget about these tribal things for now and listen to this guy who speaks.
Hearing me?
Well, we can hear you, Essa, very well.
Can you hear us?
Alpha can mode call in. Are you hearing me?
No, and Essa, before you do this program to go, there was something that Musa Jeng said. Musa Jeng said about you, and that is.
Musa. Amaluta struggle ni beduga.
Wow.
Affaire man na hare because waji dal sa ay mu ngi tok fofu rek lu ñu hare pa dor poli ay marto Essa pol man ko dega ci suuf man modu ba dega rek.
No, poli la, but like I was saying, Musa Jeng said here about something about you, which is your mastery of all these languages. If I have one regret in my life, Musa, moy ne nakala tura
Okay. This cannot be connected over there on the laptop? No.
Okay. Essa yang ma dega?
Okay, yeah.
Yang ma dega?
Wow, mangla dega.
Okay, just to cut it short, Musa. I lived in Basse. To color C. Wow. And one thing I really appreciated about that.
Yes.
They speak Wolof very well. They speak Mandinka very well.
Yes.
They speak Pula very well. Sarapule very well. And I was wishing upon hope, you know what? I wish I could speak at least two of the languages. And because it helps, you know. But anyway, Musa, let's get this going. Essa, thank you very much. And thank you to our listeners for the patience. And maybe I'm just going to be, what's his name again? Smawaji, Sarian.
Wow.
And Essa, if you can just give us a brief background of who you are. Who is Essa Bokarr Sey?
But I will give a very, very short answer because I was asked this question by one young man, Jasong Sanyang. He said, who is Essa Bokarr Sey? I told him, Essa is a product of combined and synchronized efforts of all the ethnic groups and all the regions of the Gambia. My first headmaster who registered me first to learn is Nyang. I am saying it with tongue on cheek though, because I know Pa will start bluffing. And then from there, second was Musa Nua Kolijola. But I was taught by two Mandinkas, Chajo Sonko and Famara Tabali, Babukar Suare. Then I went to Amity School. Mbai Sanyang is a Jola and Abua King is an Aku. So all the tribes combined made Essa. And I replied this in 2019, not right now what is going on. The reason why I said that was, if you want to color Gambia with the beauty of ethnicity and the beauty of the difference we have in our in our regions. So I am definitely I am a product of the combined. Definitely, I'm not saying this because of politics, because when I first answered this question was in 2019, I was not even thinking of politics. So that's really the truth, though. So that's the way I see myself. Then after that, I went out to other parts of the world and came back. But the foundation is Gambia. Yeah, that's Essa.
Now, Essa, after the change
Yes.
happened,
Mhm.
you went back to the Gambia
Yes.
and worked at the OIC.
Yes.
You guys were able to hold a conference,
Yes.
even though all the leaders that we expected.
Is there any way that you guys can help me to mute some of the comments, because I don't want to be distracted?
Oh no, but mom didn't go there, moon.
Okay.
So that go ignore it.
I know how to do it. I put it on my laptop. I know how to do that. Because not that I want to hear what I pleases me, but I'm a human being. I may be distracted by it.
No, just act like it's the serious talking and just ignore it. But
yeah, now I've shaded it. I won't see any comments.
Sometimes I don't even want to see the comments myself.
Yeah, but even if they are not pleasant, it's fine. But most of them I've read now is nice. But I don't just want to be distracted.
No, that's all right. So you work at the OIC, Essa.
Yes, sir.
And given that Gambians now have a very suspicious view of governance in our country, including all other institutions, how would you rate your work in terms of accountability, production, and everything first?
That's a question I encourage people to ask me wherever I go to, because even when I appeared on the GRTS before I left, I told the journalists that I would never be on any platform and be my own auditor. Because in as much as I heard that some people say audit is just mere opinion, it is not a mere opinion, it's a very strong opinion. The audit is out. What I said on GRTS, what I say here and other platforms. I would rather the auditors say who Essa is, what he did. After that, I said openly, unless if I have to be beaten up and then give him substance when investigation, I am the first person on a television who said, let them audit me and let any future government drag me to a commission of inquiry about my job at the OIC, because I want it to be done by an independent party. Because if I sit here and say, I did a good job, I did this on this platform, well, we all know internet, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, TikTok, they are tireless record clerks and they will keep these things. I have no fear anyway to say that. I know that, as I always say, it's an emphasis. It's not like trying to show that I am the son of this, but I know I am the son of Bokarr Sey from Kuntaya. I don't fear anywhere that I'll be caught that I stole money, when it is not just speculation, it is forensic auditors. That I know that. But with all that, I don't want to say it and then say, oh, I'm clean. No, because you cannot clean yourself. Because it is the auditors who should clean you. It is the forensic experts who should clean you. It is the commission of inquiry who should clean you. And I know why people feel suspicious, particularly with organizations like the OIC or any other thing. At the end of the day, there is one thing I always say to people. If you don't want to be asked questions, if you don't want to be dragged before people, the Gambian people, and ask you, we want you to tell us what will convene us, never take a public office. Just stay home. Because if I am to work at the OIC and I say that I will come and face Pa Samba, he will not ask me about OIC, then let me not occupy the office. Because even if I don't come on the platform, knowing how determined you are, you would not spare me. If we shake hands in Bajisa, our good. You can say that. Because the thing is, it's not like you don't trust me, but like Reagan said, trust but verify. How many people have occupied positions in institutions? How many people have been trusted? How many people thought that they are very clean, but at the end of the day, they see things. I'm not saying that nobody's going to speculate about me. I'm not saying that innuendos will not happen. I'm not saying that whirling accusations will not happen. But what I will tell them is that I don't fear any government whether the sitting one or the future one, to take me and question me and follow my activities at the OIC, because I know that my emails are with me. My documents are here in the bag in my bedroom, because I knew that today will happen. I'm not saying that everybody at the OIC also is clean. I can only talk about myself, because it's like from Barzak to Sirat. So I'm not going to guarantee, Pa, that I can go cross Sirat with you. No. I can only guarantee about myself. Yeah.
So, Essa.
Yeah.
I know Essa prior to 2016 when the change happened.
Yes, sir.
And I've always held this belief.
Yeah.
That this brother is going somewhere and that he's going to run for office. You just came across as someone who would run for office. When 2021 happened, I didn't see you running for office. I was a bit taken aback. I'm like, wow, I got this one wrong. You're the only one that I thought would run for office. Bankamane falls.
It's Pa who threatened me.
Well, so
yeah.
The question is, why now?
Thank you, Musa.
Why then?
Thank you, Musa. Well, why I like the question before I proceed is that why now for me means you have had hopes on this particular Essa and expected that he would have said it or announced it way before today. But one thing I want to tell you, Musa, is that you have families also. You have confidence. You have people you respect. But the honest truth is, to be honest with every Gambian, I am not somebody too eager and all this. But what made me more to decide is when I heard the incumbent said he was going to run for the Tata. That's the honest truth. And between me and Allah. That's what really I said to myself, well, I cannot force anybody because the law has given him the chance to do it. I have no powers to force him, but I can also come out. Whether I'm going to win or not, well, that is Allah's determination. But I want to be part of that chapter of history, especially like I said, I'm not trying to be like bringing in religion in this case, but we have already been trained in a way. There is a set criteria and an echelon, which is a test from Muhammad Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, is that if you see something that is wrong, act and remove it. Talk about it and remove it, or let it pain you in your heart. I don't want to take last. It's either I act to be part of those who will stop it, or I speak about it. And that's exactly what put me into this. If I were to see an opportunity today that Pa Samba has a party, let me make it quite clear for everybody to hear me. And I see that Pa Samba's percentages are really way above mine. Essa Bokarr Sey, it will not take me 1 second to drink of cup of attire and support Pa Samba to cross. Because my thing about this is not me being there. My thing is that the orientation, the modus operandi, the way things are going. I'm not saying that I'm right, I'm wrong. Maybe some people believe that the way things are going is fine. But one thing I can tell you is that Essa Bokarr Sey, will never hesitate to sacrifice my chance to support another person if it means that that particular individual will change the current status quo.
Essa, I'm like, brother, come on. You're telling me that you're only running for office in 2026 because President Barrow said he's running for a third term.
No, I'm not saying it's only. That's not the only reason. I said. Let me. Yeah. But before you learn, I want to slice that out because I don't want to be part of it.
What I heard was, that was part of it. I'm not saying that's the
I'm not. I said that's what triggered it, sort of.
Triggered it.
Yeah.
So that's a hell of a trigger then. Essa decided not to run in 2021. It's going to run in 2026 because President Barrow said he's going to run for a third term. What do you say to people who are saying Essa is not driven by change or stopping President Barrow? These are people, contrarian view. Essa is driven by self. Essa wakes up every day in the morning and he looks himself in the mirror and he sees a president. If change and stopping Barrow is the motivation.
Musa,
You're
saying let me allow you to learn, but I think let me. I will have to interject here. No, let me come. I will interject here, please, because
I have to finish.
I don't want you to develop something
into
the mind of the listener. That's not what I said. I never said.
No, Essa.
Barrow running for third term is why I am running for president. I said it triggered it, but you know, before you touch a trigger,
Essa. Balalma, Balalma Ngiriala. We invite people here and we challenge them and we give you the opportunity to answer. What I'm saying is not only Musa Jeng's views, people. So, and I want to give you the opportunity to answer it.
No, but you said that Essa said he will run for election because of Barrow. That's not what I said.
Well, okay, and then when you're gonna answer, then you can make the clarification.
Oh, you want me to wait? Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Run with the questioning, but because we're gonna don't get to it.
No, why have nga? So say dañ ne ñolong kunda ñi din karote fi suma kër la di fatale gol ne Musa di.
So if you're not driven by, if the trigger wasn't Barrow asking for a third term, and then people are saying there's a lot more to Essa running, and change is not one of them. It's ambition, and there's nothing wrong with that, or self. Because if change and stopping Barrow is the motivation, why not join a United Democratic Party that has a very good chance of stopping Barrow? Why not join Khalifa Saleh that's been out there for a long time?
Yes.
President Barrow. So tell us if there's a lot more to it.
Yes.
And what is stopping you from joining these parties to join forces to stop Barrow and bring about the very aspiration we had before 2016?
Okay. That's good. Now I can answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I know you will start laughing. I have to slice out first what you said. As I said, I did not say that. What I said is it triggered it. But triggering something doesn't mean it's the only cause, because I am one person in my life. My operation is always between causes and effects. Okay? There are many causes. And the reason why you ask why now, had I been only after being a president, from the time that all of us were fighting and doing all these things, I would have declared my party in 2016 then, or 2017. But I did not do that. The issue is that when he said he was going to run for a third term, I was on the preparatory mode of going into politics, either to be the flag bearer or to join people. I said that's what triggered it. That's what said to make me say that, oh, you know what now? There is no need to even think that this could be changed. We could talk to this, because I never expected, to be honest with you, Musa, I'm being very natural here. I never expected him to say that. I was thinking that he would be one person that would safeguard his legacy. At the end of the day, will deliver a speech. Maybe I was naive about it, but that's the truth. When I had that, I said, now, definitely, the method I've been using during Jammeh's time, I cannot use that method right now, because the thing is, there are different systems and different regimes and different personalities who are sitting there. So for anybody to say that Essa is into politics because of self, I laughed. You see, Musa, that will never, ever deny me sleep. They don't even know me. Musa, let me say one thing here. I said it on another platform. Essa Bokarr Sey, let them keep this video. If I am to win to be a president, and the process I used, and when I'm a president, something will not please Allah, mane, yalla lay jël sédé buma yalla jox president bi buma ko win kon. I am not after me, Essa. That's why I said it quite clearly, Musa. I said, if I were to have a chance today, and I know that I have, let's say we all go, there is the possibility of somebody getting 26%, somebody getting 35%. I'm just giving you an example. And then I will get 33%. And I see that if I add it to Khalifa or to Essa Bokarr or to Usainu or to Lawyer Dabo or anybody, I would never hesitate to do that. I made it clear at the beginning of my answer. So if anybody says Essa is into this because of self, they don't know me. Time will tell. They will see who I am. I am not into this because of I want to be a president. I want to do for myself and all that. Because Musa, let me make it clear. Some people have entered politics. We know how they entered politics. The money was in there. I'm not a rich person, but I have been in Paris for 1 whole month in a 5-star Novotel hotel. Nobody gave me that money. No Gambian, nobody. If I wanted just to be self, I would not have done all that. And the other thing is that when I went to Paris, there are right now, people can verify from registration of businesses. I met some people, they want to go and register their businesses. I've convinced 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Some of them have started coming. Those people will register their businesses, do business in the Gambia, hire Gambians when Essa Bokarr Sey is not the president yet. And there is no guarantee that I'll be a president. If I had to keep those things for myself, then that's the time somebody will say Essa in this for himself. But let me also make it clear that you can never run for office in any part of the world. Everybody will say that you are the best candidate. Then know that you are fooling yourself. People will go against you. People will distrust you. People will say that they don't trust you. That's right.
So Essa, can you look at the camera and talk to people? Why are you running for president? When most people think that you have a 0 chance of winning, why are you running?
Am I not saying that right now?
But why are you running?
Why am I running for president?
Yes.
Because I believe that what is happening in the Gambia, the way the country is being run is not the right way. I have to be part of those people who will stand up and use what law has given us to use, which is democracy, to bring change.
Okay. Maybe people are thinking that you're saying platitudes. The way things are being run is wrong. What are those things that you think are wrong?
Well,
Essa will bring...
Number one is my most recent video. I begin with that one. It is already circulating. We have seen a National Assembly, majority there come, playing the card of maintaining an incumbent on the seat of power, saying that people in the diaspora cannot vote. Okay, and we have seen even countries like Guinea-Conakry, their nationals are voting in the Gambia. We have seen a National Assembly majority that has come to the National Assembly to increase deposits for aspirants who want to run for office. Okay? We have seen all the National Assembly members, the activities they are into is to justify the unjustifiable. But all along, they will just come and tell you, oh, yes, this is the law. We always hear that. Yeah, this is the law. The law hasn't barred the president. The law has... Look, we have seen it in Benin. Talon said, il n'y a personne qui va m'attacher sur le chaise d'un président. He said, nobody is going to tie him on the seat of a president. He gets angry when you tell him that you run for 3rd term. Talon. And he's 67 years old. He has just done 2 terms. So making reference to him is not about, it is what inspired me, only what inspired, but that's part of it. But if you look at the way things are being run in the country, we have seen these demonstrations. Who would have ever thought of Gala? Okay, Gambians against looted assets. What were we fighting for throughout? Why were you before CNN with me? Why was Pa Samba arrested by DSS? Is it for us to change the government? And then we come and hear that the assets of the former president, whether some people will tell you they are not his assets, they are not this, that. You saw that's emotional charge. Nobody went against Yahya Jammeh more than you and I and Pa Samba here, isn't it? Now we can have lions and tigers everywhere, but we know each other. But I, for one, will never support, even if Yahya is the worst or has to be the worst, I will never support, and I'm not saying that he's the worst, but I'm saying even if it is not the case, I will never support that kind of inheritance, because this is not about somebody has died, and like the Mandinkas would say, Keta, no. You just come and take over and do what you want to do with it. Okay? And other you've seen things happening. Now look, 2016 to now, people are telling us that we have more troops from Nigeria to come to beef up the ECOWAS. We have the Senegalese. And then we were told that there will be some security reform. I once told one of my colleagues that launching. Okay? Because even the Ministry of Defense, I said this launching of documents, launching of papers will never change a country. Have we done a security reform? I ask you that question. I know I'm not here to ask you questions. It's just a rhetorical question.
Absolutely.
Have we seen any change as far as the farmers, the way their goods are being bought? Last year, we have seen, all of us have seen farmers being asked to receive to receive checks so that they can be paid by Q money. Pasamba is here teasing me. Reality, in fact, that is not a tease. I know some of my uncles in Kundaya, if you send them a text from Q money, it will take them 3 months. Hamanepa will go with that today and laugh at us. But that's the truth. So these things are what I have realized to say that, look, it is not about some. I have some people were saying, oh yeah, Essa was at the OIC, he left. I mean, they don't even know what they are talking about. I was not the darling of the system. I have records in my bag. I have told the president that I want to be removed from the OIC, and he knows it. Okay? I wrote to the office of the president that I want to be removed, and I have the reply with me. Okay? So these are things that I want people to understand. That as far as I am concerned, I will not argue or defend myself about anybody who thinks that I want to run office because of me. Let them watch my actions. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Essa. Pap Sambe.
Essa.
Yeah.
Now, there is a guiding document called the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia.
Yes.
And it determines who is qualified to run or not to run.
Yes.
Section 62, subsection 2.
Yes.
Deals with the qualifications to run for office for President of the Republic of the Gambia.
Correct.
And there is an elephant in the room. So let's just get it out of the way. Musa Jeng cannot run for president in the Gambia because he holds a U.S. citizenship. That I know of for a fact, because he comes here every time bothering people about voting and not voting and forcing everybody to vote. Now, Essa, are you constitutionally qualified to run for president in as much as having dual citizenship? Or do you only have one citizenship? And if you have dual citizenship, are you ready to relinquish your U.S. citizenship? And if yes, how soon?
Yes. Pa, let me make that clear. My answer will be consistent. When the day comes for me to register, they will get my answer.
So is that to say that now you hold dual citizenship as we speak?
Well, I wouldn't say an yes or no to that because I'm strategically approaching it.
Okay. So now, Musa Jeng has asked.
But I like your questions, though. They are good for me, too.
Yes. So the other question that I have is, there are so many political parties.
Yes.
And it has gone to the extent where people like Musa Jeng are frustrated by everybody just jumping and wanting to be president and believing that maybe let's increase the threshold to make it a lot more difficult.
Correct.
What would Essa Bokarr Sey, strategically, policy-wise, and everything bring to the table that the existing political parties will not bring? What differentiates Essa from any other candidate that should make people to say, you know what, this is the real deal I'm going with?
Well, what differentiates me from them is that I operate on a principle-centered structure, not a personality cult-centered structure. If I would say not every one of them, I'm saying this is what I believe in, that ours is principle. Earlier on, you saw one young man who entered. We have a technical team. The technical team is the one working with me. Right now, they are the ones who are working with me with some other legal experts who are not in the technical team to prepare the party's constitution and the party's manifesto and all that. Okay? The way we operate is completely different for now. I don't know if there is anybody else operating like that. I'm not sure. But our method of approach as far as going to the people to campaign to do that is going to be different. Ñun duñ nekk campaign kadimbana ak chunuwar ak kemi benachin. No. That we are not going to do that. inshallah. So that's one difference there. I understand that many people would come to say these people want to run for office because after that they will go because Barrow want to make them a minister. You see, when I see that, I don't get angry because the issue is that they do not know me. If it is about being a minister, isn't it about Gambia? You and I know Gambia. It has sunk in, or so much so that you feel disappointed when you see intellectuals or people who have traveled are still stuck to value in minister and commissioner. Essa Bokarr Sey, teranga bima yalla joche aduna. That's the list. I will say it here. Man neka minister yemudma, neka president yemudma. And I mean what I'm saying. Because the thing is, if it is about being a minister, the kind of job I'm doing here, no minister in the Gambia will earn that salary. No. And if they challenge me, let them resign and come and join me in Louisville and see whether they'll be hired by Amaya. People are not into this to come to get positions, jobs, and all that. No. So the thing is, we all know how people are judged when you want to go to politics. We all know that. But I will always say that let them keep what I am saying right now for tomorrow. The issue is not about what you want to be, what you don't want to be, what you can have, what you don't want to have. No. The issue is that let us be serious about national issues. This is serious. The way we are going in the Gambia right now is very, very, very serious. And I commend you for this platform because this is the way we can spread the message. The issue is not about Essa Bokarr Sey. The issue is not about whether you like Essa, you don't like him, you trust Essa, you don't trust him. No, the issue is not about that. The issue is join hands with the people who want to bring a change and then see what change will be for you. In fact, if you look at it from 2016 to now, even if one was to build every building with gold, don't you think so that you can leave and somebody may build the buildings with diamond? Why do you believe that you are the only one who can do it? Yeah.
So just a follow-up.
Yeah.
I can glean from your question. I have a technical team that is working on the constitution of the party and others. So are you telling us that not only is Essa Bokarr Sey planning to run for office, but he's also planning to form a political party? And what is the name of that party, if you may know? And when should we expect that party to be registered?
To be honest with you, I would not divulge the name of my party now because legally speaking, I've seen people do it, but I am one person who wants to follow the law. You cannot come on announcing a name of a party without getting all the signatures and register the party. That's not correct.
So how soon should we expect this process of
yours?
Well,
I don't want it to go beyond October, inshallah.
Okay. Because
right now, I heard that the current government, there was a press release that some people are telling the people that don't allow people to come and write your names. I'm laughing about that anyway, because they know the signages are not easy to get. But for me, I don't want to mention that particular region. I should have got 43. On each sheet, there are 15 signatures. That's the way they do it. If you give one, then there'll be 15 people. We took to the region 43. The region chose to give us back 70. Altogether, within 1 week, finished. Because when they mention my name, they say, oh, Hamnai. Yeah.
Alhaji Musa.
Yes, sir. I had a different question, but I'm going to do a follow-up to the answer that you have given.
Okay.
And this has something to do with citizenship. I think, just like you, that is why I invested so much so that the constitution can be changed.
Mm-hmm.
So every Gambian, irrespective of whether you're a dual citizen, mm-hmm. whether you live in Tonia Taba, that you should be able to run.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for our democracy. And it's also good for the Gambia, because there are a lot good people that cannot run,
Mm-hmm.
even though their umbilical cord was cut
Mhm.
in the Gambia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is why a lot of us will not even run.
Yeah.
You decided that you are going to run,
Yeah.
and a question is asked. And then most people believe that are watching the program will live here and say, Essa is not a serious candidate because he cannot categorically state that, look, I do have dual citizenship and I'm going to abandon my dual citizenship because this thing is important. I'm going to run for office to bring about change.
Mm-hmm.
And this will not be standing in my way. Can you say that?
Yeah, the thing is that, Musa, I would not waste my time on when you say some people will say Essa is not a serious candidate. I don't think anybody has the barometer to measure seriousness just simply because you did not hear a yes and answer question, because I am not part of the troops that we are being trained during Second World War to go through the methodology of stimulus response. I'm not that. So I'm not going to sit here and say, I said yes, I'm serious. I said no, I'm not serious. That's the decision of the person. Let the person go home with that. One day you will convince yourself. I will not sit here and say, this is what I'll do, that is what I'll do. I said, I will give them the answer on the day that I am going to register the party. Wow.
And you decide, you know what? This thing is not worth it for me. And this is a hypothetical. You can answer if you want. This thing is not worth it for me, and that I'm not going to abandon my citizenship to run for this office. What should people expect after that? Are you going to throw your support behind the status quo, or are you going to throw your support, the opposition, to bring about the very change that needs to happen?
I like that question, Musa. I like that question. That's why I'm smiling. That's the day that the person who would have said that Essa is not serious, that's the day that they will come back and bite themselves too. Because the thing is it about Essa Bokarr Sey, or is it about strategically making an approach to bring a change in the Gambia? What do they want? What do they really want? Is it about Essa Bokarr Sey should say this, he should say? You see, Musa, let me make one thing clear for some Gambians. Let them understand one thing. Social media is not a courthouse. Social media is not a commission of inquiry. Social media is not a barometer of the contents of a character. Social media is not where somebody would sit and say, you said this, I mark you right or wrong. Nobody has a marker of people. That's what people should understand. We are here to engage each other. If you are convinced, fine. If you are not convinced, it's fine. But in politics or anything else in the world, Musa, you may not convince X today. They may even go against you today. Tomorrow they will come back and say, I am wrong on the whole Essa was right. I like the strategic part of your question though, Musa. But you are asking very difficult question also, Musa. I'm not happy with you. No, I'm just kidding. I like but this other guy is worse because he does it in a sly way. So I like this thing you said about humor is good in anything because but I like this strategic question. But when you said in the event that let me finish here. In the event that you were to say, it doesn't worth it for me, are you going to throw your weight? And let me tell you, Musa, I'm not bluffing. Do you know why I'm laughing? Right. Some people are commenting, saying a lot of things they don't know. You see, Musa, let me tell you one thing. I can swear, and I don't easily swear, I have a lot of support in that country right now. Believe me, I do.
Let me say this, and I've said this behind you when I was talking to Pasamba. He can be my witness. When we heard the rumor that Essa is going to run, I said this: Essa can be a hell of a candidate because I've seen him in action. He can connect. I really did say that, and I seriously do believe that you can be a very good candidate. Whether you will win is a whole different matter. But I think you can be a good candidate. But
you want me to say something there?
Yes, go ahead.
Let me say it in Wolof and Fular Mandinga. Min mi ganyoto. Womu fula kangoldi. Ntebe ganye lale. Mandamay win, Musa. Te sumala ko ere gomko. I don't joke when I am ready to do things. Seriously. The only thing they can put at the bar, like you said, citizenship here. And that's why I said I'll give the answer. But billahi wallahi ta'ala, I want them to underrate me. I said it to one party who is at the State House. I told him one time because he called me and said, my man, I said yes, but I want you to underrate me. Dama bu ngeen xeeb ma ye jutunna loolu laa bëgg. Mooy the government, mooy anybody else, let them just nañ ma xeeb rek ne kii du mun a win loolu laa bëgg. Billahi wallahi talaay boobu la ñoo xam ne nag determination wins anything.
So Essa, for 20 years we fought against Jammeh. We went through a lot of stop and go, whether it's the NAT 2006, whether it's 2011. I mean, the focus was let's come together and stop the dictator. 2016, we were finally able to do it. We all believe that there was a betrayal, that it was hijacked. My first question is, do you believe that there was a betrayal? And if there was a betrayal, who are the people responsible for the betrayal?
Well, I would not only say there is a betrayal only, but there was a serious betrayal. And that's what Amilcar Cabral said before he died. He said the problem is on Africa is the cancer of betrayal. And that's what ended his life. You see? So the betrayal we are living through is a betrayal of a nation. Because why do I call it a betrayal? Can you imagine is it 2014, 2015 or so, around that time, when our brother came out, electoral reforms, he was killed, Solo Sandeng and other people. And then you have today people who are being taken to court, others are traversing the Atlantic Ocean, going to meet them there to serve as witnesses of all they did. Now, look at it this way, okay? All those things, are we not repeating it today? Because this National Assembly member coming to increase, is that not part of electoral laws? And then what did we, especially we the diaspora, did we ever expect this government will come and stand on platforms sending disparaging remarks towards us? Did you expect that? To a point where some of them saying we did not do anything to support them. Nothing. I have had commentaries, other people are sending messages to me here and there saying, some people are saying that we are even Bakotong Fenyo. We are nobody. Is that not a betrayal? With all we did, with all the GDF, with you yourself, were you not one of those people presiding over people to call because of the respect they have for you? They were calling and pledging. How much money did you send to that country? Is that not betrayal? Exactly. So for me, you are right. I'm not saying you said it, but you're asking me a question. Yes, absolutely. They're not worse, but there is ongoing betrayal. Ongoing. It hasn't stopped yet. It's a chain of betrayals every day.
So if I what I can glean from your answer is President Barrow and his government, they're the ones, the culprit that are responsible for the betrayal.
Well, I would not like I call him a mentor because I have the right to say so, Khalifa. He says, let us not go into politics of name calling. I adhere to that. I am not going to say this person or that person, but we are talking about an entire system or an establishment. He is the head of the establishment. He cannot be absent from it, because had he brought these people to speak to them, to make them understand that, look, what you are doing is not good. Because what we should have, what we expected from him, the video is that. Lamin Champion Sounds brought it out the other day. It was spread all over. Okay? Other people saw it. So now the thing is that the other thing is that these videos are there. Somebody said it, that the diaspora stood up for us. And I met people in 2017, I don't want to mention names, who told me wherever we wanted to go for meeting, okay, before we arrived, you guys would tell those people we are coming, and you made the crowd come out of us. They never allowed us to go on GRTS. You are the people who were standing up for us. That person is that. Maybe when the campaign begins and then come correct.
Yeah.
Maybe we can mention the person's name. Yeah.
Pop Samba.
Essa, as we speak, our country is confronted with issues.
Absolutely.
You've heard our discussion about tribal comments, tribalism. I've seen you write something about it. Let's say on December, whatever it is, you are declared the winner of the presidential elections. That in December, you are sworn in, January, you are sworn in as the president of the Republic of the Gambia. What would President Essa Bokarr do to fight this supposed tribalism that we see now rearing its very, very ugly head
Very
every
dangerous.
turn of the way? What would be how important would that fight be? And specifically, what are you going to do to solve this menace so that at least we'll have a Gambia of killing, like Father Edu said?
For me, the ugly part of tribalism is nourished by communication. It is nourished by communication. That's it. Because the thing is, Gambia of yesterday, I'll give you a story about myself. In Kuntaya village, I used to walk on foot and go to Tambana, go to Karantaba, go to Bakang, go to Daselame, and these are Mandinka villages. We have Tankonding and all these places. We and those, I never, to be honest with you, Pa, is when I, like during the former government's era, that I started hearing this word, tribe a lot. But as a kid, and you can be a mere witness, I learned Mandinka at a very early age in Kuntaya village. Because we unconsciously spoke the language, and people like Tumbul Trawale and others from Bakang who used to come to Kuntaya, my father used to teach them, these people speak Fula more than I speak Fula. And those kind of things, we need to bring those into like a colloquium, like a symposium, for us to understand that this is about Sinoya in Louis Decandorla, because Gambia itself could be a sample in many other parts of the world for two things: religious tolerance and ethnic tolerance. Because us in the Gambia, we are trying to put it on our heads, but in reality, it doesn't exist, to be honest with you. But some people, very few, may want to continue talking about it. Because for me, like I said, have you ever gone, have you ever had any waliyu, example, a big waliyu, a big moro, who is Mandinka? You go to him and he tell you that I'm not going to pray for you because you are a Fula.
No.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
If you go to a Fula waliyu and you are a Wolof, have you ever heard them say, people who used to go to the late Alhaji Boubacar Bansang, will he tell you that I want to pull Medu and Takoma? Jasong Ture of Buiba. I have seen people, most of the people he was curing, some of them are on Mandinkas. They are either Fulas or Wolofs or whatever. So the thing is, some people should be told to understand that this Gambia we have, the people in that Gambia you are talking about, these people definitely, if you look at the spectrum, the demography, the everything about Gambia, for me, Essa Bokarr Sey, this thing I wouldn't say. For me, Essa Bokarr Sey, I wouldn't say that I will prefer this or that, because I don't have anything to prefer, because even my first son is named after a Mandinka, Baba Kante, from Kunda Urinyani. And here you are, the beauty we have in our culture, who has it? You, Pa, when I just joined the program today, before I could fix the phone, the humor you injected in it transformed me into one of the best engineers, and I came because you were telling me, Musa, don't mind, Essa is a fuller. We are the only people who can. I once said to some people that, look, the issue is this. Let us try to understand one thing. We ourselves, among ourselves, we are the only one who can stop these rising flames, because it doesn't do us good. No tribe can dismiss the other and throw them in the Atlantic Ocean. And people who know me, some people will start saying, oh yes, this tribe is more, the statistics is more. One person asked me, I'll talk about the Fullers here. One person asked me a question during a Fuller program and said, G-Boss is disintegrating us, the Fullers, because they are the ones who said Lorobe, this and that. I laughed. I told her, no. You are pointing at the wrong victim. He said, why? I said, I delivered a speech before the Fullers. They say, min komi pullo Guinea, min komi pullo Futa, min komi pullo Masina. I told them, you are the very ones who differentiated yourselves, you the Fullers. Because when you say, I am a Fuller jama, why not ngane rek man polla renga emfa? Because the disintegration. So if you are inside the Fullers and you're accusing others of this, dividing you, you are the one who divided yourself first. You see, for me, anybody who goes against tribes, you are against Allah. You are against the Quran, you are against the Bible, because no theology teaches us that this particular ethnic group shouldn't exist. It is his will for Wolof to exist, for Mandinka to exist, for Fuller to exist. It is his will. In fact, why is it that during the time of Mama Janke Wali, during the time of Demba Nanki, during the time of Kelefa Sane, why did those people bring forward Dankuto, Moikal? Why did our great-grandparents bring Kal? Because they knew we are together. We have to find a solution where we will live together in peace. That's our culture. That's the beauty of our culture. In fact, this Rawia could have been transformed into a model, and then we can use it as conflict resolution. And it should be taught in the schools. For me, that's the way to dismiss anything tribal. And I will take time to organize a symposium of Sanawiya to bring everybody together for us to know that we are teasing each other because of this. There are things I can say to a Kabunka. If it is not Sanawiya, I will never tell them that. Banka knows that. Banka Mane, I once met him. Every time I see him in the Gambia, I say, Banka, where is the Kabuka Almamo? One day he told me, Essa, we don't have Almamo. We are under the kapok tree drinking our wine. What do you want? This is beautiful. The Fullers and the Kabunka, the way we tease each other, and you, the Syrians, is something else. Look at what the Fullers are telling to Joma in Senegal now. Look at the kind of teases there. That's Sanawiya. These are beautiful things we have. That's what we should nourish, but not the difference of lingo and linguistics. No.
Thank you.
Here I speak all of them.
Yeah, no, yep. Thank you.
Because I went to Kerawan Badibu. I was in Kerawan Badibu. I went to Janjambure and came back. If you would allow me, I can give you a very funny story here, because
no, go ahead.
They have Janjambure, Gerte Saf, they call it Maraba. Okay? Other part, I think Badibu called it Tiayilaringo. Kombo, they call it Tianding Koma. See, so where I went to this place, and I was going with Abdurrahman Jallo and Ibu John. Ibu John is dead now. So Abdurrahman said, we were tired. I was in Amite school. We were working. He said, Ngata Marabaji. I told Abdurrahman, man, deuma digis ken, seti uma ken. I'm going home. I'm tired. He said, no, Maraba is not a human being. It's Gertesa. So why not we become proud of teaching these languages in the schools at an early age? At least the first 3 maybe. Then we try to spread the others, introduce it. Now they are doing the pilot program. I am aware of it. Okay? Wolof, Mandinka, Fula, they learn these languages. And let us tell these kids that My father told me one thing. I'm going to end this answer here because I like the question. He once told me, Essa, come and sit down. And I said, he said, never, let me warn you, never be part of the people who say these things. Wolof yeb bahuñ, Soose yeb bahuñ, Puli yeb bahuñ, Senegalese yeb tapalekat la. He said, never say that. I told him why. He said, because the sources, there are waliyus. If you insult an entire ethnic group, you have insulted waliyus. If you insult the entire Wolof, you have intent. So he was just giving me that kind of understanding that you have to be careful because, like I asked you, a Marabu you go to pray for you, and he's a Mandika and he's a Waliyo. You will never hear a Mandika Waliyo tell you that I'm not going to pray for you because you are this tribe. It doesn't exist. So we should try to forget about the differences and try to see what causes the differences. Let us sit down and talk about it and be together. Me, this is what because in all these tribes, you cannot tell me everybody is bad. Then you are not serious. You cannot tell me also everybody is good. Then you are not serious. Then let's try to transform the the bad and make them good in every tribe, and then we come together as a nation. This is what I believe.
Thank you very much. Essa, I am one of those who believe that in spite of being independent for so long, that our country has yet to realize or reach its full potential. In fact, not even quarter of our potential.
Sure.
Most of the people who have served in government hailed from the provinces. Every politician that we interview, for the most part, at least 97% of them will brag about being farmers. Oh, I was a farmer. My father was a farmer. But our farming community continue to live in wretchedness and abject poverty. What would Essa Bokarr Sey, the president, the politician, do? What policies would you bring in place to finally make sure that the hardest working people who rely on their honest earnings will for once lead a dignified life and would not have to be chasing their money and be given promissory notes to get their money back, or in fact begging for seeds and fertilizers? What would you do for agriculture, for these poor working Gambians who've suffered for long?
Thank you for the question. Well, for me, a philosophical answer I give about agriculture first before I say anything is that a healthy agriculture is a healthy nation. Because when you talk about balanced diet, look at it. But now, if you were to encourage people to be growing findy and all these stuff, everything, vegetables, isn't it what the dietitians tell us that is healthy? Number one. So the other thing is that agriculture is the soul of a nation. If you play with the soul of a nation, then that nation will not grow. Why is America today? People are thinking of it is arms, it is the power of the arms. No, it's not the arms, it's the agriculture part. Mechanized agriculture. Okay? Because what we have today in the Gambia is the same cycle that is being repeated. We had the modus operandi of the cooperative union when the colonialists brought us peanuts, and in fact, that's why they call it the cash crop. Should we continue talking about cash crop? I think we should continue talking about cash products, isn't it? Because look at Gambia now. We are still, like Einstein said, if you keep on repeating the same thing over and over without realizing results about it, you are closer to mental illness, isn't it? Because we are repeating the same thing. Cash crop, teret, cash crop, what to teret, Jonna. You know, teret means when the Musa knows teret, because I think I'll index him here. He is from a family that used to buy groundnuts, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's
So
why
you
he was
see,
rich.
the teret here, people will always party, and then look at Gambia. But when I was in school, I don't know whether they taught you that. Musa, did you learn that in Kaur? They used to teach us this, and I used to be very proud of answering that question. and you get a good mark. They said rainy season, dry season, and slack time. You remember that?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Rain, June, July, August, September, October, gas gerte. Then they say slack time, SLARK. I know you can spell the word just for the emphasis. Can you imagine? Have you ever had that lesson in any country? Slack time. We used to learn that at school. And I used to give an answer and I used to get 10 over 10. And I'm very happy. But now when I grew up and I look at this slack time, I said, bro, you don't slack time. Because we should have, you know, a non-stop, like, look at a woman in Bakau, in other places. Like the other day, I was writing something positive about women, and I mean it. They are the only people in the country that work all year round. After the rainy season, their narcos are in Bakau, they are in Brufut, they are in everywhere, they are in Kuntaya and all that. But slack time is for the men, though. So how can we have slack time in a country and then we want to produce a lot to export? Even if you don't export, you eat it, and if you eat it, you will be healthy. You know, so I think agriculture for me, it would. I said this to one person. I said, what I will do is to slice the budget of defense, okay, and then match what I have sliced, and then amalgamate, bring the army into agriculture. Not that I'm going to slice their budget and then the army will suffer. No, because my colleagues, you know, that's my family though. I'm very biased. That one, if you hear me praise them, and don't be angry because I'm from there. But the army and the police, if we merge them into agriculture, we are going to, with all these bluffs you are hearing, I build this road, I build this road, I build. The army could have been the builders of those roads. The agriculture, they could participate in it, because agriculture, everybody's business. It's not like you will say, like what I used to see in the former regime, go to this place and farm by force. No. Forced labor is not necessary. Sensitize the people. Make sure that the army participates in agriculture, because we have to be targeting. Let's say, for example, going back to your question. Okay, now let's say we have 7 regions in the Gambia. Let's say you organize and say the cup winner for this year, North Bank, where I'm from, they are usually known for being good at growing the groundnuts, the coos, the bussy, and all this stuff. Up to Musa's area, that place, they are good at that. We say this region, you are not forced, but the president can call them and say, I want you this year to be the only region that will grow this. We will buy it. You go to Kuntawur. Kuntawur is dead, and then it should be revived because of the port there. That could have been a small port that can connect us to Mali, because you just drive there from Kungel and go. That is also part of agriculture, because the goods has to be sold. You tell them for rice production, for anything about that, this is the area. Yes, sir. You continue Sami area and all that stuff. Then every region, what it is identified with, you tell them grow this and let us bring it together and sell it. We will buy it. But like I'm doing right now, that's not politics. The companies I met in France, Allah knows that those people, some of them, where they see the way they can absorb all that. And you are in America here. Even look, but these are not difficult things. These are not dreams. These are not bluffs. I have no doubt in my mind. You pick up a phone call and tell Musa, Jen, can you please go to Sam's Club? Example I'm giving, and tell them that do they need a constant supply of green beans? I did that as an ambassador. I went to the USA. They will tell you yes. You tell our people to send the green beans there, isn't it? Are we not seeing our containers coming? Only the women are doing it. We have lost our quota in AGOA because America has to take us off. We are not serious. We are not bringing in cotton. We are not bringing in lobster. We are not bringing in anything. Why would they give you that quota when you are not bringing in anything to help their country? They took it away. So this is my general vision of what agriculture should represent in our country. Yeah.
Yes, sir. There is this gentleman. When we first started asking you questions, this Mbaisi guy, he's Mbaisi. He's just a commentator. He watches this program every every Sunday.
Okay.
And his first thing was that basically he came across like he was on your side, basically saying, let's allow you to clarify. That's what he said. And now he's basically saying that I don't know about you guys, but I haven't heard anything so far that get me excited about your candidacy. You haven't lost him yet, but he's saying that he's yet to be convinced.
Mbay.
So
Mbay, let me warn Mbay here. Mbay. Mbay, pa yéen ak may déglu de. Mbay xam nga naka nga sant teddu. Baax na continuer ci li ngay bind rek yow. Yow moom dama lay boole ji ci waawoon léegi. Duma waste time sax.
I bring it up just to...
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, people like Mbay, I have seen him comment, but I like this. You see, people, when I met my dear sister, Fatou Rahman Koka, you know, the questions were like, yo, and they were tough, they were this, they were that. But at the end of the day, those people are the ones who want to help you out, for people to hear you. Absolutely. It's just like the best lawyer is the one who takes you to the courthouse and asks you very tough questions. If you cross the questions, you win the case. Because what Mbay is saying is he hasn't had anything that will convince him. Okay, now I'm going to give Mbay something exciting right now.
Okay. I just brought that up just so that you know.
Yeah, but let me just give him the honor, because you
I have to ask my question because Pastor I'm gonna.
Yeah, but you brought in Mbay.
Huh?
Let me give him one thing just for Mbay to go with and then feel excited. Those are if I get your vote, I may not. You are a citizen, you know, and Mbay may not be. I don't know. So let me try not to lose Mbay. I don't want to lose him here. Okay, Mbay. Let me tell him one thing, and anybody like him, that let him keep this part of the video. I will never be a president that will go beyond 2 terms. And the part of our law, part of our constitution, the party constitution, it is there. In fact, you know what we are thinking about? 4 years. And let him keep this and go after me if I do something different.
Okay. So Issa, one of the most important things, we can talk about tribalism, we can talk about this, we can talk about that, but when everything is said and done, is January 2027, and you're inaugurated as president. You're going to inherit an economy that is in trouble. You're going to inherit a debt structure. You're going to inherit NAWEC. You're going to inherit inflation. You're going to inherit lack of jobs. You're going to inherit lack of housing. These are the realities that Gambians day in, day out, that they struggle with. And they've been struggling with this for the past 60 years. That's what you're going to inherit, and it's going to be your problem. How do you intend to solve it?
Well, the first part of the solution should be self-discipline, because I have to put in self-discipline first, because we have seen, we can copy from other people. We have seen people who, you begin with self-discipline, you can discipline all these things, and then you have to be a very impartial and firm arbiter. And the arbiter, the field of play will be accountability and transparency. Yeah, people have to be accountable to what they do. Now, when you inherit absolute agencies like that, I am quite familiar with some of them, because the chance I have, alhamdulillah, when I was what the OIC, it exposed me to a lot of these things that are happening, and how weak and how some of these institutions, why are they like they are? Some of us have even written minutes and all that. They are in file. They know that. Okay. So NAWEC definitely is the lifeline of the country. A country without dependable electricity, how can you transform that country into a modernized country? How? Okay. You are talking about what again? You said Gamtel or something? All these.
In fact, the most important part of that is you are inheriting an economy that people believe is in shambles, inflation, debt structure.
Correct.
And massive unemployment.
Correct.
How would you tackle that? What would you do differently that this current government is not doing, or maybe even Jammeh was not doing? What would you bring to the table? If you can, again, I'm saying these are supposed problems, unless you identify them as problems.
Yeah.
If there are problems, how
Mhm.
do you intend to fix them?
I have begun. You know, there are so many things that when you are before people, you don't want to be like, I did this, I did this, I did this sometimes. But I have begun that. That's why I was in France. I wasn't there to make money, to be finance a party. No, 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 no. That's a network I know. One of those people is a good friend of mine. He is the one who brought the trains to Senegal, Stéphane Volant. Okay? And I have met other people there. Right now, I am working with, and they are coming on the ground to register their businesses, because I told them that do not even wait until I be a president. That's the way we can solve it, because we cannot solve this backway issue, this unemployment issue, if we don't have a proliferation of small, medium enterprises like Taiwan has. We cannot. And that is not a dream. We can do it. The thing is, most of these companies that come to the Gambia, they are not coming through the way that is meant for national interest. Some of them is like, you know, X knows Y, and then X will tell you, I have a construction company. X will tell you, I have this, come over, I know this minister, and then they will come and say, that's it. You can come and do your business here. That's not the way. If you don't create small, medium enterprises, if you don't promote agriculture, if you don't encourage skills, like they will come and tell you, we have put in place a center skills where people can learn skills, but there are other skills you don't even need to build the center. All you need to do is to ask them to present projects to you, and then you have what they call something like Credit Agricole and all that stuff, small banks that will sponsor them. All these people, Senghor did something like that. People will tell you, oh, Senghor was there years ago, but people are reading Machiavelli, and he was here in the 15th century, isn't it? But if it is a good idea, bring it forward. Didn't they encourage the Baitapan of Senegal to create the Husin? You see the Husin? We should honor our own. I was in Taiwan. That's what Taiwanese do. The local forgeron, like they say it in France, the blacksmith and all this stuff. Taiwan brought those people up to a point where it became something like big companies, because you have to believe in the small scale, the skills, and all this. So we have seen a Gambian who built a wheelbarrow. All these things are not small things, because but you have to subsidize them. And there's what they call matching. You know about matching, because, for example, you will search for the company that can support them, bring it to the Gambia, let them register their business, and partner with a Gambian, because I think that's what our laws say. This way you can change the landscape very quickly, and then you can get employment very quickly. Bring in people who want to bring their companies to the Gambia, match them with a Gambian, and then they stay in the Gambia. And you tell them one of the things, like the criteria that would qualify you for us to let you operate in our country, you'll be given a quota. And the quota is, any one of you who opens a business, we want you to come back and report as a progress report. After 3 months, you have employed 50 Gambians. If you have 50 companies, 50 Gambians, how much would that be? That's a way to solve the unemployment problem.
So,
Inshallah.
there is a debate that is going on between the major parties. The current government, if you see their business model, whether you're talking about the Senegambia Bridge, or you're talking about the Al Barak or the Al Port, and there's sort of talk that they're even thinking about going the same route with Gamtel, Gamcel, even the airport. So they see that new business model, making sure that the state-owned enterprises are basically privatized, if you want to call it that, or the PPP.
Yeah.
There is another argument from other parties, like the UDP, a major party, and then DOI as well, that are saying that is not the way to go. Actually, they see that as mortgaging our assets, that we should be able to manage it ourselves.
Correct.
Get jobs and do A, B, and C. Where do you stand when it comes to those arguments?
I stand with what Doi said. Yeah.
Why? And why?
Because, in fact, even though it's an opposing pole between them and the former PPP regime, but didn't we have NTC here? National Trading Corporation. It was here, right?
Yes.
GRT was here, right?
Yes.
Gambia River Transport.
Yes.
GPTC was here, right?
Right.
But like they say, an institution without functionality is not an institution. The institution don't destroy themselves.
Mhm.
If you instill discipline in the worker and there are sanctions to handle those who mismanage and destroy institutions, no institution will ever go bankrupt and then lose everything. Look at Saro, what happened there? We brought in Alimenta. Okay? Alimenta came there, wanted to operate, was not given the chance. All of a sudden, they were closed, accused of money laundering, and they were sent out of the Gambia. Had they been there until now, what we have lost after they left and what we have gained, which is worse, is after they went with 11 million euros. We paid them a fine, isn't it? I personally was one of those people who went to the Swiss ambassador at that time to talk to them for us to see what we can do so that they cannot. In fact, we are going to pay more than 11 million. But it was brought down to 11 million. So you can imagine.
Yeah, but Essa, I have to interject.
Yeah.
You're making the argument for this government because they're saying we had an NTC owned by the state and it did not work. We had NAWEC, it hasn't worked. We have these are liability companies. They don't. You can't even call them asset companies. So they're saying we have to change the business model.
Musa, I think you are confusing yourself here. You asked me about what Doy and others said, and you said they said we need to have the national entity, isn't it?
They need to do what?
You said something about what Doy said about and compared it to other companies.
The current government is leaning on a new business model. Then I said, if you listen to both the UDP and Doy, they are saying they are against the idea of mortgaging these assets, they call it.
I am too.
Okay. You are for that too.
I'm with what Doy said. I'm against mortgaging our institutions.
Okay, and then I said, but why do you think? Because these are institutions.
Yeah, the reason why I brought NTC, maybe I need to go back to that. I know it's not like you're missing the point. It's maybe I need to explain myself. I brought them as an example and said they were here, but institutions don't destroy themselves. That's what I was trying to explain here. I'm not saying they are good or they are bad, but even the ones they may consider good models for them, even if they bring SOE, where they have BIMA, DCC, and others controlling state-owned enterprises, Musa. What I'm saying is, it's not like I'm siding with anybody here. I'm saying, whatever institution you build, however you build it, if you believe in Marxism, socialism, capitalism, or whatever, but if there is no self-discipline, institutions do not destroy themselves. People destroy the institution in whatever model. That's what I'm trying to explain.
So, if Essa inaugurated January 1, 2027, you're going to reverse the present policies that have been put in place, meaning you're going to make sure that Africa 50, they're managing the Gambia. You're going to bring it back to be managed by Gambians, like state-owned enterprises. And you will do the same thing as far as the port is concerned. Is that what you're saying?
Well, if there are no contracts that will bind me legally, because I'm not individually running the country, but I have to look at the contracts, what affects us. That's why any sitting government should be very careful of entering into contracts, because some of these contracts, you are tying the arm and the hand of the nation. But if I am not going to have any issues that will affect the Gambia, I'm not only going to reverse those, but I'll even reverse if there is a tailor that they have hired to sew their clothes. Yes, I'm going to be very honest there, because the state-owned enterprises here are just symbolic. These ports and everything, even if I'm not going to reverse it, there must be a time for the new government to sit, at least even in 6 weeks to 6 months, to review all these contracts, and we are going to make sure that we won't spend a lot of money. We have very smart Gambian lawyers who are very loyal to the nation, who wouldn't assume money, who wouldn't do it. I know engineers, Gambian engineers, hailed Gambian engineers. One of them is in Scotland. They are one of them is here. We all know this man, Jogomai Sise. Okay? You live with some of them in Atlanta. We don't need the manpower from any country, because Gambians are participating in what is building other countries, Musa. We have the people on the ground who can do that. Why are we going into all these due diligence, doing by a consultant from Saudi Arabia, due diligence got by a consultant from India? Why are we doing all that when we have Gambians who can lecture some of these people we import in? Why do you know why some of them are imported? Because they are the ones who do not know how to fumble in the dark within a corrupt society, and they will be left there. Somebody will guide them to what benefits them. This is the problem.
Thank you very much.
Gambians can do it. We have Gambians. Look, Musa, even yourself here, in your own area of expertise. If let's say I tell them all the time, I said, I'm not resume yo hamne, dañ ko yobante. Why I'm not resume yo hamne, dañ ko yotu nga jeliko. It's not like they're better than you, but the issue is, Ba is there earning $15,000 a week. Example, you want to bring him home. There must be a way to entice Pa to come, but you cannot tell him that, yeah, because you're a Gambian, this is our country. Yeah, I'm a Gambian, but hey, man, Pa is a Gambian, but he's going to put depas on his table too.
I hear you.
Yes. You said something here that was very profound, that institutions do not destroy themselves.
Yes, sir.
Meaning that people destroy institutions. In the Gambia today, there is a greater perception among people, more than ever before, of corruption.
Sure.
Where people, almost by my own thinking, crazy or not, at least 1 in 3 people you ask believes that there is massive corruption in all institutions across the country. How will President Essa Bokarr Sey fight this menace of corruption to at least bring back sanity in our governance system?
Thank you very much for the question, sir. Corruption for me is, I tell people, I say praises are slow poison, but corruption is plutonic. That one is faster. It kills many people silently, because corruption, like the word you use is what it is. It is a menace. It is very dangerous. We cannot fight corruption though if we don't associate checks and balances with sanctions. We cannot. Because one of the things that in fact encourages corruption is job security. People are saying that, yes, there is freedom of speech in the Gambia. I even wrote something like that on my Facebook. There is no freedom of speech. People will say, no, I said, look, one of the things what pains me most is when people think that a particular government or a particular president gave us freedom. No. The issue is that the corrupt part of the action is job security. If you go and say something against the government, what do they say? Is that freedom of speech? How many people have been asked to leave their jobs directly or indirectly because they are against the system? How? Is there freedom of speech? Are the government employees enjoying freedom of speech? I doubt it. I don't think so they are. So the issue is this. Corruption has to be dissociated from job security. Because if not, whatever the person does, however bad it is, as far as you are ready to share what you looted or what you think is you own with the system, you are not going to face sanctions. That's the way things are. Because we saw it happen in PPP, not as aggravated as now. It happened during the former regime and it's still happening. Who amongst us will see anybody will get up and go and say, I am against President Barrow, I'm against this as a permanent secretary, and then tomorrow you go to work? Have you seen that anywhere? Is that freedom of speech? Is it that? So that is how corruption comes, because the issue is that everybody will not fear sanctions as long as you are loyal to the seat of power. And that encourages corruption, because if you are wrong, people think corruption is always about taking money at home. No. I've said one person, I said, if they want to recover some of the monies, I have a checkpoint I will put in place. And I think the checkpoint is going to get us a lot of money back. Let them put the checkpoint at Bond Road. If they put the checkpoint at Bond Road, if you pass, then, between Bond Road and Wafinjago, you cannot go to the sea, can you? Then another checkpoint will block you, and the other one will be on the road before power machine. Then they ask them to open the boots. If they start opening the boots in the Gambia, a lot of money will come out. I'm telling you the truth. The boots. People will tell you, we need evidence. You hear that in the government, right? Evidence. That's why they say it. Because if you see somebody ak mbuusi halis, wire transfer apunut, nga gis kenn ku jël mbuusi halis bi jëm suami wala fenen jënda keram cash, koko kañ nga ko jàppa? Parce que ragalut yàlla. Ku ragal yàlla na du xelaateen. Yeah.
Now, Essa, the Gambia is losing its young.
Yeah.
We have a very youthful population, extremely youthful. But the level of hopelessness that we continue to see in that country has resulted to a lot of our young people now taking this very dangerous journey to leave the country in search of greener pastures. What would an President Essa Sey do to at least bring hope to our hopeless children by giving them a system where they feel they can belong? Dëkk boo xam ne mën nañ ci tekke mën a teral seen kilifa yi, teral seen yaay, teral seen njaboot. How would you tackle this? Because I believe it's such a big problem in that country, and I don't think it's being looked at very, very well.
Please. Thank you very much, Pa. If you want, I can even answer it in Wolof, but I'll speak in English for the benefit of others. Then we can put in different languages if you want. But as I always say to the youth, and I spoke to some of them who are famous among the generation today, just before this program, one of them is always following. I told him that my description of the youth is that you are the savings account and we, your parents, are the spending account. Okay? How are we going to deplete your account? We will be drawing checks. And what are those checks? They are bribery, they are corruption, they are flamboyant lifestyle. Those are the checks we are drawing to deplete the funds. So that in itself has to stop, because the thing is that the youth, no youth wants to grow up from their country, go away and be suffering there until they die. How many of these youths do you hear they lost their minds in Italy? We do see these stories all the time. There was a time I was fighting a case of some of the young ladies who were caught up in Kuwait silently. I've fought for so many cases. They know and I know, silently. Okay? The issue is this, Pa. The youths, what we need to understand as parents ourselves is that this generation is so scared that's why Essa Bokarr Sey speaks, Pa, somebody else speaks, they will all say, they are all the same, they are all useless, they are all this, they are all that. Okay? But the problem is that this particular part of society, the youth, like Alaji Mustafa Gay said that during his speeches when he was alive, he said, "Xale moy energy rew." It's like they are the electricity. In fact, the youth are the nawek of economy. Okay, they are the nawek of the economy. If the youth are paralyzed, our country is dead. Finished. Because even if you come here in America, if you are to be recruited by certain agencies, I'm not going to mention their names, they will ask you not to be above 37 years. If you join after, you can be 37 years above. But that's the youth. They need the young ones to do those kind of jobs because they have the energy and everything. The worst part of a country is where the younger generation loses hope. Hopelessness for the younger generation is very dangerous. Today, I'm conducting some survey to know more. There are people, okay? The youths at the university, okay, are facing serious problems as far as being able to pay their fees. But people will tell you, we have built a university. But that university, what is carrying the youths to the university? Is there any bus? The reliable transportation is not that. Some of these kids will leave their homes and go up to Faraba. The amount of money they pay is more than what they are paying as school fees. All these things have to be put into consideration. So you will see that, like I said earlier, I bring back the question I had. I answered earlier when I went to France. The companies I met, and even in America here, I'm doing the same thing. One of the ways that we can solve the problem for these youths is to encourage. If it is Bangladeshi small medium enterprises to come to Gambia, it's fine. If it is Senegalese to come to the Gambia, it's fine. If it is the French to come to the Gambia, it's fine. If it is Gambian entrepreneurs, in fact, that is where we should begin with. I have respect for some of our entrepreneurs. There are tailors in the Gambia who are employing our youth, training them. Why not we subsidize those people? Why not we find ways of injecting some, because they, in fact, just to take it to the lower elementary side of things, what is wrong in somebody driving around statistics? The woman you always see here selling Gerte Saf, the woman, you ask them, how much do you spend on this thing? This is the amount I'm spending. Like I said, if I am to ask you to come and start a small business, the quota I'll be giving you is, of course, you have to pay tax, but there will be some concessions for some people who we should encourage to grow. We will, the thing I will say is your first priority is the quota of the amount of youths I want you to hire. They should be giving that to the companies. It exists in certain countries. If you are allowed to open a company in this country, you are going to hire 50 to 100 youths. If you cannot do it, we are not going to open the company for you. Period.
Okay. So, Issa, we have about 15 minutes to go.
All right, sir.
Before that, we have partners that we work with.
Mm-hmm.
And we come here every Sunday because of their help. To make sure they give us the funding that is necessary. So,
okay.
Welcome to Kid Aisha Restaurant. We are located at 1460 Boston Road in the Bronx. We are open 7 days a week from 1 to 12 a.m. We serve Senegambian food and American soul food on Wednesdays and Senegambian food all 7 days. We do dine-in, we do takeout. We serve chebijin, chebiapa. We do mafe. We do plaza, we do every other day. We have yassa ganat with rice, super kanja with white rice and fufu. We serve a lot of delicious foods. For dinner, we do dibi, chicken dibi, penta, whole chicken. We have shawarma, lots of good food. Also offer catering services for weddings, baby showers, birthday parties, whatever you need, we got it here at Kid Aisha. You can call us at 718-450-8606. And we're also on Uber Eats. And if you've ever been to Kid Aisha, make sure you leave a review. Thank you guys for supporting, and we hope to see some new faces.
Welcome to the Gambia, a country with a rich tradition in tourism and a beacon for investors. Experience a nation committed to progress, a home where nature's beauty is matched by the warmth of its people. A nation that is fast-growing and developing, thriving for togetherness. At the heart of this development is the Global Properties, the Gambia's premier real estate developer. Introducing you to our latest property being developed, the Lake View, an epitome of luxury and comfort. Whether you are looking for a residence or investment property, Lake View is the ultimate option. The Gambia is not just a place to live, it's a place to thrive. Welcome home.
According to the World Health Organization, WHO, as estimated 7 million people die from air pollution globally each year. This includes both outdoor and indoor air pollution. Most of these deaths, 4.2 million, are caused by outdoor air pollution, such as from vehicle emissions, industrial activities, and wildfires. Indoor air pollution, such as from burning wood or cooking fuel, is responsible for an additional 2.8 million deaths. Air pollution is considered one of the leading environmental risk factors for premature death. It is associated with a wide range of health problems, including respiratory diseases, heart disease, stroke, and cancer. Each breath you take, there is something in it. The question is, what damage is that going to do to your health? One of the biggest misconceptions about air pollution is that it comes from one source, or it has the same health impact that is not so. Air pollution comes from many sources, and many sources change over time. For example, if you are standing by the road, ride particles coming from tire wears, brick wears, and there are particles traveling in the air that travel in far distances. An estimated 1,000 people die each year in Washington state due to outdoor air pollution. Air pollution is a serious problem in Washington state. In a new report from Washington Department of Ecology, researchers investigated health data for 16 overburdened areas of Washington and found people in these communities face a higher death rate from air pollution than the state average. The report also shows higher rates of chronic respiratory and cardiovascular conditions across the 16 areas, where ecology has identified vulnerable populations that face high levels of air pollution in addition to social, economic, and environmental inequities. People think air pollution affects the lungs, but perhaps what they did not realize, it affects every part of the body. The advertisement is funded by Ecology with funding from Washington's Climate Commitment Act. The CCA supports Washington's climate action efforts by putting cap and invest dollars to work reducing climate pollution. By putting cap and invest dollars to work reducing climate pollution, creating jobs, and improving public health in collaboration with New World International.
Thank you, Essa, again, and thank you definitely for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Interesting conversation. We have about 10 minutes.
Okay. Just wanted to say a little thing here because, you know, we are into... Tonton, je suis devant la télévision. Je suis devant la télévision. Okay. So, dama wanna wax dara rek Moussa.
Wow.
Ngeen may ma parce que itam xam nga ñu nit ñu ngi ci utam nit ñi.
Of course.
Am na ñoo xam ne they are in a groups, as I said, to be honest, not to bluff, but our movement is making us feel, I mean, we are very famous right there. So some of them are watching you, man. I never knew that you have a lot of fans in these groups that are following me. So it seems like I have a reaction from somebody from Dubai. Yeah. A highly trained lawyer for that matter. So he's saying that he's watching. But the group that is there in for me, I say to you that, hello, you see your candidate today? You see Musa Jeng? He's a loose lion in town. He's just breaking my bones here. And then that's another tiger around there. So I let dimale mana parce que ñi na yaga ci leader dañ ci ay. But anyway, I just wanted to say hello to those people also pour ñu xamné ñu ngi leena bàyyi xel daal inshallah. Ñoom nag sa fans la yow yaa ma ëpp fan suma groupe bi sax so itut ma xaar over la party bi benn yoon.
Thank you very much. So Issa, I want to give you an opportunity because definitely somebody like you and saying, I'm going to run for president. So you are not very happy with the state of affairs in the country. And basically saying, whatever we have is not working and it needs to be fixed. And I think that one person can make a difference. So I want to give you an opportunity because I believe that I'm not your d'accord. I want you to give them a grading system and why. So my first question is this. As far as this government is concerned, the way they are handling the economy, what letter grade would you give them and why? The economy. And just keep it short because I have other bankhas.
Between what to what?
Huh? Just generally, the way they are managing.
No, you said grade. I say between what to what, like 0 to 10? Or...
Grade A, B, C, the American grading system, D or F.
C plus.
C plus for managing the economy. And why?
Well, I mean, I don't think there is any country that you will say everything is wrong. But if they were to improve on that, they wouldn't get C plus. Next time they may get B plus, because it's very hard to get A and A plus even if you are a strong economy.
Okay.
The why is that the cancer is corruption.
Mm-hmm.
Any economy where corruption is contained and controlled,
Mm-hmm.
it can easily get B to B plus then to A. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's not only Gambia, but any country. And now I think even people in the government are talking about corruption and what measures should be taken about corruption. Because we had the last retreat what the president himself said.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you give them C plus. How about the managing of education? I mean, okay, let me divide this. How about higher education? What letter grade would you give them and why?
Higher education, definitely, my dear brother. We're not used to each other, but I respect him, and I know one of my friends who is a scholar who respects him, and he's doing what he can. So I would give him B plus.
B plus for higher education.
Yeah, sure.
How about basic education?
Basic education? Well, my good friends. Okay, I think basic education, well, the way I'm seeing things happening now, I don't know whether totally is their fault or is the cabinet, but I cannot give them anything above C.
Anything above C. So
No.
it'll be C minus or D?
Just C.
Or just C?
Yeah.
Okay. How about health?
Health.
The health sector.
Well, I would have given them a B, but with the video that I saw yesterday, and somebody is telling us, help us, the water is entering from all these places. So I think health, I would just also give them, I would just give health C minus.
You will give health C minus.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to take this question that somebody, with the letter grade that you have given them, I guess the general question, if you're just to sum it up, what would you do to reverse those fortunes? This coming from Matar's Silla, meaning the economy, you give them C plus, how would you put it a B? And then of course, health, you said C minus, and all the letter grade, what would you do to summarize to kind of give them a better grade?
Well, what I'm trying to say here, it's not even for political reason, but seriously, when you take it as professional assessment and analysis, for 6 weeks in office, I would definitely stamp corruption and then reduce the big SUVs that are burning petrol a lot, and reduce the quota of the fuel coupons being given to people, and then reduce travels, and then make sure that every permanent secretary will now travel economy plus or premium, because it's comfortable, but it's not as expensive as business and first class, because we have to cut our losses short. That will be, I know if I do that within 6 weeks, the economy will start kicking, inshallah.
Absolutely. So final question is, we're all looking at our politics. There's a lot of polarization. I mean, there's a lot of, I could even say sometimes hatred. People get very emotional.
I know.
So there is polarization. And if Essa Bokarr Sey is elected January 7, 2027, what measures are you going to take? Because God knows we need a unifier.
Correct.
First, do you think Barrow is a unifier, the current president? And what would you do differently to bring
To be honest with you, you know me, even Jammeh, I once told people that if anybody is to make me an ambassador, what good somebody has done, I don't bury that. For me, Adama Barrow, the beginning, even if he was not performing very well, economy and all this stuff, his own demeanor, his character, looked to me like a unifier. But along the way, I cannot say whether it is him or not. But now, the issue is, even if he thinks he's a unifier, I don't think so. Because to be honest with you, a unifier would not speak like the way he's been speaking during the last time I heard him during the last 2021 amendment. I think things started changing during the campaign of 2021. That's where either he was showing us his true colors, or whether he was being misled by people that he thinks are good advisors. And I will come back to tell him this again. Praises are slow poison. I'm not saying he's dividing the country so bad, but he's scoring very low as far as being a unifier at this point of time. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Essa.
Thank you, sir.
Samba.
Yeah, Essa, thank you so very much for joining us. I just have one question for you. There is a general belief among Gambians that the only way that incumbent Barrow could be defeated is through a coalition. You are Essa Bokarr Sey. I know that was going to happen sometime along the way, but I tried. You've been through it all. You've seen coalition built. You have tremendous amount of experience in our Gambian politics.
Thank you.
If you were to have an opportunity to sit with the key players, Mr. Dabo, Khalifa, Mama Kande, and all these people, and you have to make a pitch to them as to why we all needed to put our differences aside and come to form a coalition. How would that go?
Well, the thing is, I'll bring in a little bit anecdote of my experience. I'm not going to mention a name, just to show you that they wish well for the country. Because there was a time I wanted to leave the OIC. I was invited by a political party figure. Not that he just invited me like that. It was made possible by third parties. What he told me was, never even think of it, because you are in it for country and we know you have the experience in security matters and all that stuff. Stay around until this conference is held. That's just an anecdote. But now when it comes to that, a person who speaks to me like that at that time, I don't think it will be difficult for me to engage that person and talk to him to let him know that coalition is the best answer for these things. Well, for Uncle Usainu, I think we met before and he knows me, I know him. I mean, I don't see in his demeanor a person who you will meet and he will just tell you, I'm not going to listen to you. No. But definitely I have to be honest to myself. I am not going to stand and tell people that I have more experience in politics than these people do. Then I will be joking with myself. Okay? So Mama Kande, well, the last time I remember when we met at the OIC, we always have a joking relation, because when he came in there, I told him, Mama, we are here, we have organized this OIC, don't whip us. He laughed. He said, no, today I'm not good. So that kind of personal, what would I say? The touch is there, the connect is there. I don't think I will ever have issues and difficulties of talking to any one of those people to convince them for us to find a common ground. Particularly if I were to have some weight to show, I would never hesitate. As I said, if I see that this is going towards a direction that me being away is going to make the Gambians lose the chance of getting the person in power off through democratic means, I will not be the obstacle, inshallah. No. Because my aim is to see change. It's not to see Essa as president, like they say in French, coûte que coûte. Of course, I cannot tell people that I don't want to win, but I'm not eager and desirous and blinded by emotions also to win against the interests of the Gambians. What we want to see is change. And Gambians have to, I want to say this, Gambians have to understand that where we are now, this is not partisan issue. This is very serious. It's even more serious than the 2016. If they don't believe me, let them try the future with what will disappoint the nation. Then they will see for themselves. This is not politics. This is really serious national issue. We have to come together, whether it is UDP, PPP, NPP, my sister, the independent,
Shock.
stock, I don't know, for whatever reason, I always confuse their names. I always call her Nene Gomez, and I call Nene Gomez Shock. For some reason, now you've helped me. So I hear her, and she speaks sense. So all these people are brains that can help us change the country. Yeah.
So I guess we're just gonna allow you to make your final pitch, to convince people. I mean, thousands of people that are watching and listening, and you have it. It's all yours.
Okay, what I will tell these people is that don't believe in Essa, believe in Allah. Don't believe in Essa, believe in national interest. Don't believe in Essa, believe in what will benefit the Gambia now and later. If you see Essa in that and is convinced you he is in that, then go in for Essa, because before Essa is Gambia, after Essa is Gambia. Don't believe in any candidate. Listen to what they tell you, go home, and your last person to consult, or the last thing you consult, is your pillowcase. Make informed decisions to bring change that is effective, and it will not affect today's generation and tomorrow's generation. That's my pitch.
Thank you very much, Issa.
Thank you very much, Issa. I really appreciate you.
See, finally, Ruslo nako gis nga poli mun nañu duga.
Yeah, you got that right after about an hour trying, but finally you made it.
You see what he's bringing again.
Yeah.
Okay, Musa, end the program here.
Thank you
very much, brothers.
Thank you very much for joining us. And,
thank you. Well, I just want to say, anything I said, like they say, if it is correct, accurate, is from Allah. If it is wrong, is from me. And if I said anything that may offend anybody, or you might have expected more from me, this is not the end of the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you
very much. Bob Samba. It was an interesting one. We started out.
No, definitely. And we will continue to.
With the technical issues.
Yeah.
But everything said and done, I mean, it worked out. And, interesting interview. What do you think generally? I mean, we asked a lot of...
Essa is a very eloquent person. You always get that from him. And I think it is important that we listen to all these voices.
Yeah.
Well, Musa, if there is one thing that we do not lack, is people with ideas and expertise. So how do we harness that to get to where we ought to go? And I know we'll be having a lot more people coming out of the woodwork. And you know what? It's all part of the democracy. Because at the end of the day, the Gambia definitely needs to move. Who's going to move it? I don't know. But hopefully 2026 would usher in a new dispensation that we've been yearning for, because God knows we need to move most. Why? But on your part, most, I wanted to bring something. I couldn't bring it up before New Door, unless you wanted to add on to it, because it's a totally different topic.
No, I'm not worrying me. Gambians are going to be very cynical, especially going to 2026. And this is something that would work against the SRs of this world, especially when you want to differentiate yourself. There are a lot of people that are going to announce that they want to run for president. Yeah. If you look at the culture and the behaviors of people in the past, and then you begin to question, is it just going to be another, one of these candidates announcing, and later on, they just join battle? People are cynical, and they have every reason to be. It has nothing to do with, Essa going to come here and say, no, man, I am Essa, I'm different. But what people are saying is, look, we've seen your type. They come, they announce, closer to the elections, they pull the plug and make their move and join the status quo. Or they wait and see can Len Fogne Moy win, and they throw their support.
Yep.
So
you have to find your niche.
Yeah, people are very cynical. And whether having this interview, was he able to help himself to combat that cynicism? I don't think so. But Essa is eloquent and he's smart. And like I said, and I still believe that, Essa going to Kuntaya, or Essa going to Kaur, or Essa going to in the provinces and talking, I think he's one person that can connect with the local person. That's just my...
And I think, and Musa, I think that's the most important part, because you have to be able to connect
Yes.
with the voter. They have to listen to you. Let me tell you, you know why Ahmad Ba is that Salem of his? He has it. When Ahmad Ba goes to Salem and get into his fana, you know Ahmad Ba can get into
Yes.
fana if he wants to eat.
Mhm.
So he can get those people to pretty much connect to him. So you have to be able to, you know, and the competition is going to be fiercer as we go, and you have to find a way to find, you know what, I have to create my own lane here,
Yes.
and that's it. So, you know, push and pull, but you know, at the end of the day, hey, this is the essence of democracy. We wanted an open system where people with ideas will come. Of course, along the way, you'll have crazy people like myself throwing my hat in there, but that should not also distract us to where we dismiss
Oh no,
people.
you're not going to throw your hat in the ring.
No, I'm talking about with everybody running. Every day there is a new person coming. So
I'm thinking about it.
no, one is a passport. We're talking about Musa Jeng, you know, president,
But let me,
presidential candidate, you know.
can I be honest though?
Hmm.
I mean, that could be a huge deterrent for me.
Oh yeah.
Am I willing to set aside my citizenship to run for office? I mean, I'm being very honest. I'm going to really think twice for me to do that. Under the present circumstances, knowing fully well, the most likely, some of doing no voter. I'm willing to do. No, I mean, I'm just being very, very honest.
Now, your mom, Musa Jeng 5 votes among Ganye. But okay, so you run mom, I'll make sure that among Ganye for we have to.
Don't make any man get announced, right? And also, Pastor Mama, I'm not one of those that believe that if I'm going to go out there and announce and say I'm going to run for president, I'm really going to have a lot of people, serious people, credible people that believe in the same thing. Because Lidu Yevi Benenet.
No.
Sumamunta am lolu. I am not running. If I have people that I believe they have that credibility, well known in the community, that look, Nini amna ñu set ak ñu deglu. So that would be the first thing. You have to convince the people that you are really serious. If you cannot go past that, I'm telling you, whatever you say to them, they will not even listen. So and for me, you have to surround yourself with whatever that means, credible people that are well known, that clearly, and make it very clear, we are here to do this. Then, okay, how are you going to do it?
Yeah, you're gonna just feel good. Wake up in the morning and say,
Hey,
you have to.
You know what? Come now, promote to the NYP. Akayomba. And again, I'm not saying that that's what Essa is doing, because like I said,
we're not talking about Essa. We're just talking about anybody who wants to run. Because if you really want to have a choice, you have to do the groundwork, you know, the grassroots work. Because what you're doing in essence more, let's say Fumnekani, if you want to go to let's say if I wanted to run Fumnekani, let's say Joshua constituency. So my job would be, okay, how do I convince those loyal UDP supporters to give me a chance? How do I support those APRC voters to give me a chance? So you're coming into a system where people are maybe somehow aligned to political parties or candidates, and you have to be able to come up with something that would be so inspiring that they will say, you know what, let's give it a chance. But your mom, you're not going to win anyway. You'll be one of those with 5%.
Just to let people know, Pasamba, back in before 2021, we seriously considered us throwing our hat in the ring because we believed in it. Pasamba even went to the IEC and get a form. But you see, a decision like that cannot be taken lightly, because it is not about just for show. It has to be looked at. We're going to run because why do we want to run? Not only what are our chances there, no. And then you look at it seriously. Is it going to go anywhere? What are the chances? How do we? Because it's a serious decision. That's why it cannot be haphazard. Mayo, when we have this increasing of the funding threshold, you are like, look, we should open it up. Anybody should run. And my position is, look, man, I have a problem with that, because what it's going to do is going to clog the system, because the process is so important. You know, and you have your own calculation, like just throw your heart in the ring. I don't think that is really honest to the process, because we want to have to be able to listen to people that are running, weigh them, and find the best candidate that will bring change to our country. Why so all these people, all this noise, run and they're not really serious. I mean, I think it's not good for this process or the system.
No, but here is the thing though, Musa, and that's what you guys and your fear of that. We saw the last elections.
Yes.
2 million people went to the IEC and said they were going to run. But not everybody was able to meet the threshold to run. We have a system that is able to weed out all these interesting people that want to run and say, you know what, you could not meet this, you could not meet that, you could not meet this. That's why out of 20-something people that wanted to run, with also Sutieks and Warambayeks and Dollars and this thing, they said, no, you did not meet it. So only 5 people also were cleared to run, like any other country. So,
so all along, you're focusing on 3-4 serious candidates that would give a Pasamba Jautu review. Okay, what are these people saying as far as the economy is concerned? Why, if you have 21 aspirants and Nyena is a small boiler, you're like, okay, I need to give him a look.
I'm not giving you a look because of small boiler. That's not going to happen.
Why is it from the get-go? I mean, look at here, even in America. And again, America is sometimes the worst example. But if you're a Republican and you want to even announce the Nanga run as a Republican candidate, you have to meet a certain threshold to even join the debate. Because they're like, you know what, Bulan you tanghal. You remember the Republicans, the threshold.
Yeah, but here is though what that does. With this money thing that they are doing. I understand your fear. Let's say now with the National Assembly, what, 150,000 like how much? 100,000 for people that want to run for the National Assembly?
150,000.
Because the Constitution is also clear, and you should not put undue restriction on people's right to exercise a right.
Yes.
And running for an office is a right that is protected by the Constitution of the Gambia.
Absolutely.
And one thing that we have to be very careful of, Musa. Let's say when Jammeh came with the 2015 electoral elections bill, his objective was not democracy. His objective was to curtail the democratic participation of Gambians.
I totally agree.
Okay? So the 1 million, who was going to be able to do that? So it was going to be left to, when you are in this, let's say, Fumnekani Baro, we see how many living lagai in the bill, bureaus all over the place.
Yeah.
And nobody can tell you who is financing those bureaus. So he has the means. So, of course, he and his party can wake up and say, you know what? We want to make it 1 million because you know you're going to have the money. Let's say in National Assembly, for like a critical examples. Okay, we're going to, now you have to have 200,000 for a candidate.
Yeah.
The UDP, for example, Yangi Pareta have 53 candidates. So where would the UDP muster the Halis to be able to finance the campaigns of 53 candidates? And this is where the problem is. I understand where you're coming from, but the challenge, Moy, you're going to leave politics to those that have money.
No. I mean, I disagree. Because Gambia, if I am money, then nobody would in the first place. Then I want direct. If I am Halis, nobody would lol.
Then why do we have to make it difficult then?
There should be a balancing act. It has to be a balancing act. What is the right amount? I'm not too sure. But I honest to God, believe me, we shouldn't make it as easy as possible for anybody just to get up. Because definitely, I'm not sure Hamnet, they're not really very serious. I'm not sure Hamnet, because Pasamba, looking at the past, Gambia, at this moment, if you really want to be on the good side, so buge neka fi you like honorable or you are important, form a political party, my friend. Soko defut. You will not be a local champion. And you don't even have to go all the way. All you need to do is announce a Yange form a political party.
But that's the difference though.
But listen,
but the fees is not talking about formation of political parties. It is talking about candidates running for office. Now you have to pay this amount of money
Yes.
to be able to run for office. So what I'm saying, Moine, oh, happy birthday, Mbaisi. You know,
Yes.
Thank you very much. You happy. You are a very loyal Nakala to the follower of this program.
I'm not in your hamne. Well, I think it's not fair. I'm not in your hamne. From their comments, it tells you
Money, Kante Njai, money, I should stop hiding behind Doi. You are a UDP sympathizer. That's good. It's still a legitimate registered political party. So
no, man, Pasama be like, I don't want this thing to be. It's only elites that are supposed to run for office. No. Or New Halis, they're supposed to run for office.
So ngane dekabi amun Halis.
Mane dekabi ji bopham.
Okay, so now here now, in fact, I'm glad you said that.
No, if I want to run for office, like I was just telling you, it cannot be about man, can I fund it or not? That would be the wrong thing first. I have to be able to convince a good number of people that say, you know what? Let's say, man, I'm from Kaur. And I really don't like, I want to make sure I bring back the GPMB. I want to bring back Kaur as an economic hub. And I want to run for office to represent Salem constituency. What I will do is I will reach out to anyone from Kaur. Now, look, we have a problem. And the only way we can solve the Kaur problem is to go in there and have a stake at it. We will debate it. We will bring our funds together. We will bring our signatories together. It cannot be about me. Understand what I mean? The moment I make it about me, then you have into the funding issues. Then you have into signatory issues. So Lola need to get away from.
Musa, I understand where you're coming from, Sibopa. Not all parties, again, Mr. Kante, Mr. Njai, Kante Njai, sorry, can wake up tomorrow, then fly into Seattle and just raise $111,000. And you're talking about raising almost $8 million.
No, point B.
No.
UDP understands it is not about Alaji Usainu Dabo's candidacy alone, that for them to be able to compete, they need to go to people. They need to be.
If you were to ask Alaji Usainu Dabo, and Mr. Dabo, this is the invitation to you. So we'll be coming. I'll be calling you so that we'll have you here on this show. But if you were to go to Alaji Usainu Dabo and suggest this increment, I know he would have very serious issues.
No, he's against it.
Because Musa, it limits democratic participation.
I do understand that, especially with the experience that we've had in the past, the kind of government. Because for me, even if the government is using that to discourage people, politically, I think it even works against them. Because if you're the incumbent, the more the merrier. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's just restricted to few parties and few individuals, it makes it much easier for the opposition to come after you. So, man, I don't even think, increasing this spending limit somehow helps them. It really doesn't. So, you're just looking at it from the political prism. Strategically.
To me, Musa, I'm going to laugh on where the challenge should be. It's got a money aspect. Most of these candidates lose their deposits. You know that almost 70% of those who run this thing lose their deposits. This is what I believe should happen, Musa. If you're running for president, I think this notion of Dangawara get 10,000 Nakalatura endorsement, I think it's neither here nor there. That is where they need to add it. And say that, you know what, the threshold must be much higher because you cannot just run for office.
Yes.
You're going to say, I'm two people, and you have these people, they want your endorse candidacy, Mr. Dabo, endorse Bupasirundao, endorse Musajeng. No.
Yes, exactly.
And this is the problem that they were having, most of the parties the last time.
Yes.
Because you will come, so if the UDP is there, or DOI is there before the UDP.
Yes.
And my name is already on DOI's.
Right.
They would cancel it on UDPs. You understand, money?
Yes.
And a lot of these parties, that's where they had the problem. They could not meet the threshold. But I feel that they have to make it where if you knowingly endorse more than one candidate, I think there should be a penalty for that voter.
Yes.
They understand money.
You do that.
So this is what I believe. They say that, okay, you know what? For you to be a political party,
right,
you have to have a very healthy regional presence.
correct.
Constituency level presence. Word presence. Why go to go 5,000 votes you go and just gather your 5,000 votes, you take 1 million. Anybody can raise 1 million. But so what I'm saying, Moine, let's make it to where you have to think twice before running, because you know them, and maybe that's where we will eliminate all these people. They just no, let's go and make sure that you bring very healthy numbers, so that we can look at it. You know what? This is a serious candidate. I've known I know more than 5,000 people who can just sign my thing right now.
Well, yeah, this is where digitalization would come in, because IEC tools should up their game and make it very clearly.
The website was down for a very long time. I have to check to see.
They have to up their game, and also knowing fully well as a candidate, if you go and get you go ahead and get signatories, they're not good signatories, then you are disqualified. And if Musa Jeng is going to go out there, sign al Pasambajau, sign al Bankamane, sign al, you could easily lose your voting privileges. Understand what I mean? So make it very clear. It's against the law. If you're going to nominate one candidate, you can only nominate one candidate. In every region, you need 5,000 nominees. So you have no business running. Pastor, you see, there is a financial, if they're putting together the budget of elections, they're going to take all that into considerations.
They don't know.
My taxpayers' money to be spent on someone, he has no interest. You run as an independent, you come and say, I'm run for president. You must not have a candidate in Serakunda or any other constituency.
This is what I believe should happen most.
Can you imagine? No,
this is what I believe should happen.
If you form a party and yo, Bilawal Kitabi, yo munulo tahawal candidates in a parliamentary or local government elections, that party should be disqualified.
And you know what? That I agree with you. Any political party that cannot even put up a candidate in an election circle. In fact, they should have a percentage. You have to at least have this much participation. So you are the registered. That's it. And to me, Musa, that would clean up all these so-called parties that are happening. You have to participate in the process or you're gone. But anyway,
that change that IEC needs to put it in place. The process of selecting our leaders is a serious process, and it cannot be watered down by individuals they are driven by their own egos. I don't think that is helpful, and financially, I don't think it's good for the country either. But anyway.
Look at Pasne Mundama bit. But I can tell you that they would vote for me before you vote Allah. Because I know I get sex now anyway.
And I'll put my money on bus. Pasaka yo, amga I lenet na maneka campaign manager. But amna yena ads you ma put up. Nobody will touch you.
You know what? But anyway, what I was saying was, I first wanted to wish my party, they just turned 39, and very resilient to be here for that long as a political party in the Gambia, with the performance that we've been having and still be relevant, really is definitely resilience and commitment to a cause. So congratulations to the People's Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism on your 39th anniversary. And Musa, the other thing that I was going to say, we lost a good man in Gambian sports, in Alhaji Gabi Sose.
Yes, yes.
Abdoulaye Gabi Sose. I didn't know Abdoulaye was his name until recently. Because if I'm Tom, I am Fini. Ko hamne bena setam Abu Simoko today dom ji Gabi. But I'm going to America rek because of Gabi from when they play football. So you know, I'm not going to call to So he insisted and call Abdoulaye. You know, yeah. But Gabi, Musa, the Gabis, the Omar Sis, the Usainu Njais, the Fisco Konates, and all these other people, the Pesa Njais. Pesa, I don't think the people know how much contribution they make in Gambian football. But I'm on the team, Pesa 11.
Yes.
All these people contributed immensely to the development of sports in the Gambia with nothing in return. Nothing. It was like they were expecting a penny to come back from them. I know this because I worked with these people as a coach, a member of the representing my club at the GFA level, and see what they were doing. So Gabi, definitely that's a big loss to the nation, and we are losing people. Musa Nyinga Hamneni were pioneers in Gambian sports and Gambian football, and some of these people, because Masinyom Obigi, Masinyom Gabigi, Masinyom Usain Njagi, in their own ways, were helping to in fact expand sports beyond the greater Banjul area. Because at one time the focus was only Gai Banjul, Sierra Kunda, Falale, but they were going around the country recruiting players, and giving them jobs, giving them allowances and all those things. So to Gabi, thank you very much for everything that you did for Nation. And you could have been like anybody else, build your own business, or Liga supports, and put your money in your pocket, just like Nyom Obi, Nyom Usain Njai, Nyom Omar C, and all those people. Definitely, it's a great loss for our nation, and may your soul rest in eternal peace. And we are forever grateful and indebted to you and everybody else who worked so hard for country most.
Yeah, when I saw the obituary, I felt the same way. I have known Gabi. Gabi actually hails from Kaur.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabi is definitely a relative.
Mm-hmm.
I know Gabi very, very well. And my own niece is married to Gabi's son, Mutsose.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Maryland. And I just called them when they were boarding the flight heading to Gambia. And just like you said, whether it's Gabi, whether it's Obi Konate, these are the veterans. The pioneers. Veterans would be the wrong word. The pioneers that invested their time, their finances, everything into the sports, especially soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Gabi was definitely, behind Gambia Ports Authority.
Yep.
When it was first formed.
Mm-hmm.
They recruit a lot of players. Guy named Munyo Tasriel.
Mm-hmm.
And they went and formed the GPA. After that, he had another soccer team, Masose.
Masose, yep.
It's all under Gabi.
Gabi had some great players. Essa Bokarr Sey,
Yes.
Pom, Kaba Sise, Saho, Keba Sise goalkeeper.
Yes.
Ayo George, Kakaras,
Yes.
Pochisar,
Oh,
Deisan. Bill, Deisan, Amara.
So when we see these people transitioning, Pasamba, it just tells you, Adunasi, you bari jaru kofi. Like, if it can happen to Gabi, it's going to happen to all of us.
Oh, yes.
At some point. And we should always be conscious of that and try to do our best, to the best of our ability, to make a difference. Because one day we will be no more. And then what? When they said Gabi Sose from 1940-something to 2026, during that time span, life here on earth, what did he do?
Yep.
How is he going to be remembered? He was not a perfect person. No one is. But when everything is said and done, he was a family man. And he was a decent and a very good man and has made a difference.
Definitely.
In areas. So yalla mi nga xamne dara tawuko wal nako yalla mu xippé ji firdaus ci daraja yonti yalla Muhammad ci daraja Makka ak Medina minna ak yoma Arafa. There was we had someone passed away, a young guy here in Atlanta, Pasamba. I just learned about it just before we came on.
I saw Banka put it on his status. The guy was
not unbelievable. I'm yet to even talk to Moy Domi, one of our imams, Sheikh Yankuba Fati.
Oh, Sheikh Yankuba Bingle mentioned Dom.
Sheikh Yankuba Mima mentioned Fini.
Oh, man.
He always will hawk me and say, you are my president, Sheikh Yankuba. A good man. Domam Halebundau, young guy. Legi sa si Juli bi suñu amé first Juli daf dé jité second Juli bi.
Wow.
He just passed away. I don't even know exactly what happened.
I think I saw Banka said gun violence has taken this thing.
Really?
I think it's serious.
Yes, because I was like, no way. Oh my God.
No, life home is transient, and
A
it's just
good
sad.
young man. A good young man. Billah wal Kitabi. Hafiz al-Quran.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. So extending our condolences to Sheikh Yankuba, to the entire Atlanta community. Because for the next week or so, I can assure you, I mean, Atlanta is not going to be the same. Definitely.
That's sad though.
This is a big loss. Billahi. Big loss. Abdul Kudos, Fatih. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Billahi. Very, very sad. Well, Pasamba.
Well, next week.
Till next week. And thank you to all our viewers. You know, we're not perfect either. We're going to come here and we say stuff. Take it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
And
you know, the guy Musa Jeng should have been he's coming to ask something controversial, you know, also.
Every question that I ask is not what I want to ask. It's what people want me to ask. But Pap Samba.
Yes, sir.
The next Sunday, and soon Wajimo Mamnane is suffering from the UDP blues from Seattle. Because
that's what he does, man. That's hold on, you know. So
I miss him today, but I'll be calling him to get to the nitty-gritty. The real thing, what happened in Seattle. I'll have to talk to him.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Thank you, man.
Later.
Guys.